Neil Rogers is coming up next.
The views expressed
Nobody
on the
home.
previous program
Sorry.
are those of the hosts, guests, and callers.
We don't want
and do
any.
not reflect those of the Beasley Broadway
Ratings today.
staff, advertisers, or agency. You're listening
Somebody
to
will be saying we don't want any ratings.
560 WQAM, Miami, Fort
Hawk Mark says the
Lauderdale.
guys across the street interpret the ratings differently.
Yeah.
The way they want to.
Don't we?
The people who bitch about the ratings are the ones who don't have any.
Oh. Is that a coincidence?
No. It's a fact.
I see. I hope I play the right open today.
I don't care.
It's time to talk sport.
No.
Play the Dickie
not.
Farkle Open.
I don't think we're going to have an open today.
Time to talk sports?
I got yesterday's thing on here. I did a bad thing.
This is what happens when you're on your way out.
Well, I had to turn the phone pot on. You know how that works. They're all both running on the same computer.
Yeah, and?
And we're not going to have a show open. Hey, it's the Neil Rogers Show.
do
Don't
this.
call. Send him an email.
The new lancers.
मैं जमाल और वो मेरा बड़ा भाई सलीम मैं लतिका दरशान दो घान
The
शान
most beautiful woman in the world.
You mean the bitch of the slum?
Here is a bit of the real America, son.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a player!
Will never forgive you.
E. Jacob!
Oh, that was really something. That was a very auspicious debut for the show today. 10:01 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday to you. It's ratings day. Any minute now they're going to be coming in there with a look on their puss, either a look of relief and ecstasy, or now let's see who's going to be handling that. Flea?
I don't know.
Our program director is busy off getting married. Where'd they go, to Vegas?
I don't know. Sorry.
Boy, you sure out of touch.
I'm very in touch with things that matter to me, that I care about.
You don't care about Clarence getting married?
No. Better him than me. Oh, wait.
So somebody, I guess Flea will come running in there with a look on his face like, hey, we did pretty good, or, oh, boy, did we have a bad March. January, February, and March, this is the winter rating book. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, I'll get to Hawk Mark's email. It's really amusing about how they interpret the ratings differently across the street. And I'll say it for the 8 millionth time. We aren't competing on this show with the guys across the street. We're competing with IOD.
No, they're beneath our notice, or ought to be.
I beg your pardon?
I said, how's it going, eh?
No, what'd you say?
They're beneath our notice.
No, that's not the point. The point is it's a sports station. We don't do a sports show.
Right.
So the fact that the rest of the 20 hours on this station, they're all foaming at the mouth with each other, that's fine. But that's not our competition. Especially when they're doing like ones and two shares in there. How the hell can it be anybody's competition? But we'll get to that email from Hawk Mark. I think it's from the real one. He's your buddy.
Yeah.
You got so many buddies, man.
I know.
You got that Rooster Rooster Cogburn.
Yeah.
Dow's up 101 points. Boy, this is going to be a hell of a day. I have a feeling in the pit of my rectum, the pit of my...
Rectum?
That we might do okay. And we have another... well, let's see. Dave Johnson's going to be calling at 11 for our annual Kentucky Derby preview.
Yep.
And Flea says we have another online giveaway scheduled in the noon hour today. The prize is $50 to the Neil's Deals restaurant, Pete's Tuscan Hibachi Grill.
Right, which is great, and I'm going back.
Lee's going to man the phone, give you the winner once we get one. That's in the noon to 1 hour for the online listeners. So that's kind of nice that we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of people listening online between our website and between the QAM website. There's a lot of people listening online every day. Few. Swine flu cases suspected in Miami.
Oh, my God.
In Dade County. Fred Tasker wrote this. Gee, it's amazing that he's still alive, Fred Tasker. Well, he's been around a long time. At the Herald. He must be one of the 10 employees who are still employed there. It's a really strange period that we're going through now, you know, between the depression and the swine flu, all the other crap that's going on. 20 possible but unconfirmed swine flu cases have been identified in Dade County, an undetermined number in Broward. They're not talking in Broward. They won't tell you how many. Health officials said yesterday. But it could be several days before the test results come back to confirm them. The cases are considered suspect because the patients have flu systems and have traveled to Mexico or other areas where the swine flu has been identified. said Dr. Vincent Conti, chief epidemiologist at the Dade Health Department. If they have fever and respiratory systems and they've traveled, they meet the definition for testing, Conti said. Also yesterday, and I'm sure maybe some of you saw it, I saw it, the WHO took the unprecedented step of raising the infectious disease alert to Phase 5.
Oh, my God.
Setting the stage for increased efforts to combat the infection. I don't want to say that they're getting people in a just total panic, but of course, don't sneeze, and of course stick your nose in the crack, what is it, in your armpit?
Yes.
Stick the candy in the crevice and stick your nose in there and sniff
the crack.
That's what they're suggesting. If you're going to sneeze in the crack of your elbow or some idiotic thing like that. I guess Ron Jeremy is, he's able to do things like that. He's triple-jointed. Me, myself, I'm cripple-jointed. At any rate, that's the deal there. There's some swine flu cases in Dade and Broward. Suspected. That's the operative word, suspected. They don't know, and in a few days, maybe we'll find out. I'm pretty much over this crap that I had. It was not the Schweinehund flu. It was, I
said good.
That was up 111 points. Wow. Hawk Mark sends this most amusing email this morning. Hawk Mark, executive producer of the Dan LeBastard Show on Sports Talk 790. The ticket, stick it at the ticket. And then in his signature on here at the bottom, Twitter with us. He's got a link to the twitter.com at the LeBastard Show. Isn't that exciting? Mm-hmm. Twitter with us. We don't Twitter on this show. We don't Facebook, we don't Twitter, and we sure as hell don't do MySpace. That thing is deader than a doornail.
Yep.
Isn't it amazing how that was the big thing for a long time, then all of a sudden, and Facebook's been there for a long time.
Yep.
But all of a sudden everybody decided one day, we're bored with MySpace, let's go to Facebook. And then that wasn't exciting enough, let's Twitter.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who Twitter. Hawk Mark says, I know the ratings say what they say. They say what they say. That's a really good line.
Mm-hmm.
But the perception of those ratings here is much different, meaning across the street. And that's because they don't have any. The management here sincerely believes that we have bigger numbers of people listening to this station than does QAM. Yeah, you should live so long. The theory is that only old people listen to the radio at home. Only old people answer their landlines because they don't look at callers. I can't make that word out. And only old people actually get diaries. Well, that's a bunch of crap. If only old people actually get diaries, then how come the demo shows teenagers and 18 to 24 and all that?
Shut up, old man.
Yeah. He says we supposedly have a younger audience, a bigger audience who listens intermittently throughout the day and mostly in the car. So the hope is that once the new measurement is in effect, the ratings will be flipped in our favor. They point to bigger numbers. Actually, he says what it's called, but we're not allowed to say that.
Right.
They point to bigger numbers of people who show up at our appearances and participate in our, you're going to love this, polls. Yeah, I'd like to challenge them to have their polls set up like real polls like ours and all the other ones, where you can only vote once and not like 100 times.
Right, and where they actually show how many people have voted.
Right, let's see how many people really are on those polls besides just sitting there. Oh, look at that, we got 4 million votes on the poll today. Anybody can just make up a number.
Right, and so we could actually have the poll number be whatever we wanted it to be.
Right, Eric can make it appear to be whatever we want.
500 million more people that are on the planet.
We've already done that a couple of times. Remember that?
Yep.
So enjoy it while it lasts, Neil. And enjoy what? That's what Steve White and LeBastard say. And by the way, I think Steve White's getting better numbers than Sid did, says Hawkmark. I know that doesn't say much for him as PD, but maybe as a host. Yeah, you should live so long. They don't have a morning show. Here it's the 30th
About 30, man.
of April, and they don't have a morning show. Are those numbers coming over already?
Yep.
Oh, no. Now, what's the story? Are you smiling or frowning?
I don't know
you
if
didn't
they
get any kind of a read?
No, I did not.
Well, let me do the break just a tad early here, and then during the break I can start to organize and get my stapler out. You know how I have my system.
Right.
I got like an assembly line going. I got plenty of fax paper there stuck in that machine. Hopefully I haven't got the new drum. It'll be in today. Let's see if these are printing out.
Overall up a little.
Oh, yeah. What?
Overall up a little bit. That first number that we always see?
Yeah.
The entire station.
Now, you mean Men 2554
That's
overall?
the one. Men 2554. Up a little bit.
Let me see. Yeah, 0.3 of a point. Mm-hmm. Whoopie-doo.
Oh, I know.
Let me see if I can
look at that morning number. Woo!
Will you don't start tipping the thing. It's not fun. It's not fun when you do like that.
It's fun for me.
You don't look at him. You never look at him. All of a sudden, oh, look at that. Men 25.54, we got a 3.3, and across the street they got a 2.1. They went down a tenth, we went up 3/10. But you know what Hawk Mark says? Over here we interpret them differently.
These are all old people.
Oh, 10 past 10 at 560 WQM. Neil San.
Yank it, baby.
Hey, Hawk Mark, let me tell you what you guys got. You guys got Squat. Now, probably the afternoon they did a number, but I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. Boy, what a shame, you know?
Yeah.
We're just going to miss out on a little bit of bonus money. Looks like
Not
to me.
necessarily.
What do you mean?
Might get 3.
Well, we got a 5.8. We're number 4. We went from a 3.9 in the fall to a 5.8. Number 4, IOD's got a 6.5, but that's 10 to 3, and of course we're on 10 to 2.
Right.
So when you take those grotesque 2 to 4 hours, I mean, yeah, we're going to have a 6 point something. Now, that's the biggest number we've had in a long time. And you know something?
No.
I'm going to say it again, and you're going to give me crap. This is on the heels of my getting rid of, I'm your friend, I'm your friend. They were destroying the show, and I was kind of sitting back and letting them do it. And, of course, Joe Bell sat back and enjoyed watching them do it, I guess.
I'm not going to give you any crap. Do we have to have the conversation again? No,
let me say it again. The email format works just fine. We don't need stupid phone calls.
I never said you need stupid phone calls.
How about smartphone calls?
Okay.
No, we don't need those either. Well, there aren't any. Well, maybe 2 or 3 a year. Let's see how the 3 to 7. This is pretty good for us. Mornings did good. We did great. We did great, relatively speaking.
Not that it matters, of course.
What?
I said not that it matters, of course, other than for that bonus money. Oh, it doesn't matter to anybody inside the building.
Well, to them, okay? You're fired, George.
Oh, I know.
Fired.
Oh, I know.
See, that's my idea, is we're just going to keep showing up every day, no matter what they say. We just keep showing up. That's my plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to show up tomorrow because I've got the day off. Oh, how come Neil's got so many days off? Because he wants to, that's why. Because he's got a life. He's got stuff going on. Okay, let's take a look at 3 to 7. Oh, 7 to midnight must be really good. Let's see. 7 to midnight. Men 25 to 54. I'm looking at the first 2 pages. I don't see us or across the street. And they've got the Marlins. Although, no, there's no Marlins January, February, and March.
They're on the top of the 3rd.
On the top of the 3rd?
For 7 to midnight, yeah.
I thought it was the bottom of the 4th. The bases loaded and 2 out. Oh, Waxy's got a 2.3 at night. That's up from a 0.8.
Hey, we're making some big moves at night.
And where are we? Oh, my God. Woo! Woo!
Never in my life.
Holy moly, rat man. Save the juice. Shut off that transmitter. 7 to midnight, Monday through Friday. WQM has now tied for 26th with a 0.3, 7 to midnight. A 0.3. Let me say it again. 0.3. I don't want to say that could be the weak link is nights, but holy moly. Of course, nobody can hear it at night, and, And then we got that 7 to 8 tune-out. Now, can I go back and see how we did in the afternoon, 3 to 7? I haven't checked that out yet.
Please do.
How the bastard did. Let's see. He continues dropping like a rock from a 4.5 in the fall book to that he was number 4, and that was a Wire Diary book, which we all get him, to tied for 12th with a 3.2. Boy, how the mighty have fallen. And Mandich went from a 2.2 to a 2.8. So still not great, but not that far behind. In fact, I think you'll find 4 to 7. It's going to be nip and tuck, nose to nose, because this 3 to 7 includes that unctuous 3 to 4 hour. I don't think 2 to 4 was too spiffy, although we'll find out in the next couple of days when we get the hourlies, won't we?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, now you're also sending me like weekends and stuff like that, aren't you?
I had whatever they handed me. I stuck it in the machine.
Why did you give me persons 2554? Why do we want that?
From the book, because that's how you get. You double the number.
No, we've already got men. You see, when the whole book comes out, we've got men 2554. You are just lost.
Okay.
Little boy lost.
All right, whatever you say.
No, we don't have to do that.
Let me tell you what happened. They handed me a stack of papers. I put them in the fax machine.
Okay, don't put any more in there, please.
I pressed send. I didn't.
Please.
Let me tell you what happened.
Yes.
They handed me a stack of papers. I put them in the fax machine. I hit send.
Who's they? Flea?
Yeah.
We don't want anything else, okay? Men 25-54, that's our target demo. Overall, Big is number one. Look at that. And also we got to see how Bubba the Love Sponge did, if he is starting to make an impact in the market. But I don't think so, because Big kicked big, smelly ass. They went from tied for fourth, a 3.8, to a 6.3, number one. Big. Hot 105 is second. CMQ FAME is third. The Coast is fourth. That just... Do you know any guys 25-54 who listen to the Coast?
No.
All I can say is if you're a guy and listen to the Coast...
You fairy.
IOD, 3.8 to a 4.7 in the morning. That's Jimmy Syphil. Oh, no, that's overall. Let's look in the mornings. Because I'm sure Jimmy is hanging on the edge of his thing. Big in the morning, number one. They went up to an 8.2 share. Boy, did they kick big smelly ass. Wow, Bubba the Love Sponge, my ass. What station is he on? What are the callers?
I don't know.
WOFF?
Yeah.
Hot 105, number two in the morning with a 5.7. Big went from a 5.7 in the fall to an 8.2 from third to first in the morning. Ancient Paul and Old Ron. Radio Ritmo is third, dropping as they should. IOD went from a 3.4 to a 4.1. You're number 4 in the morning, Jimmy. You're number 4. He's got a 4.1, and what do we got? A 5.8. We got a 6-something, 10-2. Oh,
I'm making
boy.
a psychic guess.
Yes?
6-7 when we get to 10-2.
No way. You're crazy.
Well,
Boy,
I know.
You're talking about wishful thinking.
That's my psychic guess. There you go.
6-7. That's like almost a full point.
Yes, almost a full point. That's right.
That means he would have had to have like a 1 in the 2 to 3 hour.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you. Let me do a little math. This is not interesting, but I'll do it anyway. 5.8 times 5, 40, 29. Okay, there's 29 points in there. So if he had a 1, that leaves a 28 divided by 4 would be a 7 share. So you're right. It's possible. Possible.
Yeah, got to guess something. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. I'm not guessing.
All right,
I'm hoping.
come on now.
I'm wishing and hoping. And, of course, if we had a 7, that would be good enough almost for number 1.
Right,
whoa. Whoa. Now, what am I looking at? I don't want to look at that nighttime number again. That's 0.3.
You notice what the station
2 a.m. in the morning, Joe went from a 2.6 to a 3.4. Oh! Nice going, little dog. And just kicked their ass. Boy, they got rid of Sid the Kid just in the nicotine. And anybody that's dreaming about putting that loser on here has to be a crazy person, Joe Bell. Waxy in the morning went from a 1.7 in the fall, embarrassing enough, to a 1.4 in the winter book. That's all Sid the Kid. Because he certainly was on January, February, and March. Right?
Right.
It's only been about, 3-4 weeks? It's only been April that what Steve White's been to fill in. Look at what, in the morning, what Scare America did. From a 1.4 to a 0.7. Wow. Talk about AM radio is dead. Now, in middays, what is it that I'm doing here? I don't know. I'm a little disorganized. Middays, CMQ FAME was number 1 again with a 7.2. No speaky English aquí. Big was number 2 with a 6.9. Wow. A big book for Big. Hello, Big? Now, wait a minute. We never did get to Bubba the Love Sponge. What station is he on?
I don't know.
In the morning?
I don't know.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? You're supposed to be the... Is it WHDR? Is that the one?
Sure.
I have no idea.
I'm going to look it up. I'm looking it up right now.
You're looking what up?
Him.
Well, I don't know. They changed the call letters of so many of these damn stations. I don't know what the hell they are. And even if I was sitting right there, I still wouldn't know what they are because I wouldn't be listening to them. HDR went from a 2.8 to a 3.0, so not really much of a factor there if that's the one. I don't know.
Yes, HDR.
That's the one that Bubba the Love Sponge is on?
Yes. Looking.
He had a 3, and Ron and Paul had an 8.2. They were number 1. He was number 14. So he ain't exactly cutting it yet. Maybe he'll kick in there, keep looking my ass. I don't know. I don't think that's going to work for you.
WHDR, 93 Rock.
That's it?
Yeah.
Not doing it. Midday, CMQ FM number 1 with a 7.2. Big number 2. IOD number 3 with a 6.5. And then us with a 5.8 number 4. That's up from a 3.9 in the fall book. And that's without the, I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Oh, Neil, you got to take some calls. No, I'll take one call. Dave Johnson, 11 o'clock.
Right.
Now, let's see. How did they do across the street midday against us? Because we know they're really dangerous. Oh, they were tied for 14th with a 2.6. We had a 6-something from 10 to 2. They had a 2.6. But over here, we believe we have a younger, hipper audience. Yeah, you keep talking a big game over there, Steve White. You haven't got squat. See, let me tell you this about ratings, and I've said it many times before. The system is flawed at best. Everybody knows that. But
Right.
one book, one trend, meaningless. Usually meaningless. But over a period of time, ratings mean something. Over a sustained period of time. Over months and years, okay?
Using that word consistency.
No, it's just the point. It is that they can't be that wrong all the time. In other words, if you continue to have a big number, month after month, year after year, that means you got a lot of people listening. And if you continue to fail like them month after month, year after year, except in the afternoon where the number, by the way, has dropped dramatically, you ain't doing squat. So they can sit and have all the meetings they want and sit around and talk about how many hits they get, how many votes they get on the poll, and all this other horse crap, all this elephant turd. They're losing it. They're not doing it. 3 to 7 p.m., Hot 105, number 1 with an 8.0. Big, just, I don't know. These big numbers smell to me. There's an aroma. They went from a 2.8 in the afternoon, from 12th in the fall book to 5.8, second in the winter book. I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
IOD, this is the Schmidtmeister. He went from a 4.1 to a 5.4, from 7th to 3rd. He's third. CMQ-FM, Radio Ritmo. Now let's see how our guys. I already did this, didn't I? Yeah, La Bastard's got a something. A 3.2, and we got a 2.8. And that's 3 to 7. I bet you 4 to 7 we might actually edge him out. Because 3 to 4, I can only imagine what that number might be. And we'll get those hourlies. We'll get those hourlies maybe tomorrow when you'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
You going to potchkey around with them or what?
Maybe. I'll make mention. And then let you go over them when you get here on Monday.
With a fine-tooth comb.
That's right.
Now, that's another
that
stupid expression. I mean, you can understand where that came from.
Sure.
But how many times have you ever looked for anything, gone over the sofa with a fine-tooth comb?
Just this
How
morning?
about a thick-tooth comb?
There you go.
Were you drudge packing?
If you see a petri dish sitting out in the lab, there's a pretty good chance there.
Oh my God.
I got me a tumor, it's as big as a whale, and they say that they can fix it with some stem cells. Right now I'm lightheaded, I feel kind of funny, so hurry up and get that funding money.
Take a peek at these numbers, man.
Stem cells, that's where it's at. Splicing and a dicing, hacking and a whacking. Save them in your freezer, you can be an old geezer. My illness is tragic, but stem cells are magic. So everybody pass them around and around and around and around. Stem cells, baby stem cells. Stem cells, baby stem cells.
The Dow is up 101 points. I told you this is going to be a really banner day. Didn't I tell you that?
Right. I sent you some numbers even though you didn't want any more. Because Flea came in just to show me these out of curiosity.
18 to 34.
Yeah, and I thought that you should see.
Very
because
impressive.
We only have an old
great.
audience, so.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to point out. I don't need to be dragged down the tracks. I'm tied to the back of the train. Just calm down. We went from a 1.6 in men 18 to 34, 10 to 3, to a 5.3. We're number 4, and that's 10 to 3. So we got about a 6 in men 18 to 34. And what do they got across the street where they have the younger demographics? Let's see. Miss Sedano, she's got a 1.9, dropping from a 2.9, dropping from tied for 11th to tied for 17th. Wow. Oh, but we have a much younger and hipper audience. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, keep saying it. Somebody might believe it someday. I doubt it, but keep saying it. Keep trying. Well, that's the biggest number we've had in 18 to 34, so we actually have a bunch of living and breathing people out there. How do you like that?
Oh!
Yeah. And look at the time spent listening. Wow. Talk about Wired Diary. I mean, talk about loyalty.
Right.
14 hours and 45 minutes a week?
Nice.
Who ever heard of a time spent listening like that? And that's not even number 1. That's number 2. Who's number 1? What ethnic station is number 1 in time spent listening?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. Don't mind me. I'm just mumbling.
WYNZ. 25 hours a week, and they still had a 1.4 because their cume was 1,100 people. Oh, no. But they listened 25 hours a week. Do you believe that? Of course not. They listened ditto, 5 hours, all 5 hours every day, Monday through Friday. They got a whole bunch of Wired diaries, or at least a few, and it wasn't enough to do anything. Well, they dropped the format anyway, so it's a moot point. Scare America, doing nothing. And I hate to say this because I do watch MSNBC a lot, but the reason that they're failing most of the day, besides Olbermann, is all they want to do is just be left-wing politics. They just want to continue. I mean, I'm not in a panic about the swine flu, but I'm curious about what's going on. Plus, I have to do the show and talk about it a little bit. And so yesterday I was trying desperately to find something out about what the hell was going on, and I turned over to MSNBC, and they're still doing this Obama 100 days crap. Yeah. And doing Chris Matthews talking out of the side of his mouth and drooling, and his left-wing politics. You know, if you people want somebody to watch you, put something on that people are concerned about, that they care about. Yeah, it was great before the election. Guess what? The election's over now. And after the first 100 days, let me tell you this. It's inconclusive, and he sure as hell ain't no FDR. I'm not displeased. There are a couple of things I disagree with him on, but I'm not displeased. But at the same time, he ain't no magician. He's no Roosevelt. Oh, the 100 days, bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. All these same talking heads that we saw at election time, the same losers, the same... Oh, my God. So that's good, 18 to 34, a number. Whoa. Very good. That's funny. INZ had 25 hours time spent listening and still a 1.4 share.
So they had one listener that just
yeah, that's right. One listener listened every day all week. And maybe the one listener moved away or died or something like that. But we sure had a big time spent listening there, man. Yep. But the cume almost doubled in that demo. Mm-hmm. So that's good. We're making a little bit of progress now that we got rid of, I'm your friend. I'm your friend. See, I went based on my own judgment, and I like the emails, and I feel better about the way the show's been going the last few months since I've been doing that. And evidently it must have some impact. Yeah. And I'm sitting here thinking during this last break that if we were still allowed to do the Neil Rogers show, which we're not, but if we were, we'd still be doing 8s and 9s like we used to, maybe more than that, maybe double digits.
Like in the salad days.
Even with a signal that nobody can hear. What?
What? Like in the salad days.
Yeah, the salad days. Like pre-Joe Bell, like we always used to do. I don't see any email, by the way, from anybody in the building saying, hey, congrats on a really good book.
Well, Duff and Lee said congrats.
Oh, yeah, well, those are our people. At least I think Lee is. I'm not sure. Too many dinners at the Bell House. Here's the poll from yesterday. What should be off limits to comedy? A very lame poll. We had 48 million votes. Absolutely nothing should be off limits to comedy. 252. Nothing as long as it's funny. 211. Terminally sick children. 177. Child molestation. 74. The Holocaust. 41. 9/11. 25. Cancer patients. 17. Jesus Christ. 10. God. 10.
Oh God.
The recently deceased. 6. Disaster victims. 6. The royal family. 6. That's just a bunch of caca, man. That's poopy. Blacks. 4. AIDS. 3. The president. 3. Gays 3, the disabled 3, Princess Diana 2, the O.J. killings 2, Jews 2, the Kennedys 2, Muslims 2, Mother Teresa 1, that old bag, the Pope 1, that old, and someone's parents none. Like your mom. Yes. What's the grossest thing you ever had to do? That's the poll that's on there right now. 323 votes. 4,625,000 votes. You see, this is their mentality. They just lie and they make things up across the street. Oh, we've got, I dare you, I double dog dare you to start showing the actual number of votes that you've got on that poll. The real number, not some contrived made up number. Start showing like we always do. Anybody can go on our website and look at the poll and they see how many people have voted. Any day, any week. Not with them, and also not with the IOD polls either. What's the grossest thing you ever had to do? Clean up puke, 87. This is not a very pleasant poll to read. Clean up diarrhea, 58. Have sex with a repulsive person, 25. Why would somebody have to have sex with a repulsive person?
Money.
Oh. Clean a public toilet, 24. Change a horrible diaper, 22. Dispose of a long dead animal, 18. Remove a decomposing animal carcass, 16. Clean a grease trap, 12. Snake out the drain, 11. When in doubt, snake it out. Wound care, 10. Help in childbirth, 9. Barium enema, 8. Oh, that was my vote, because before I had my colonoscopy, I had to do one of those, you know? Or before I had, I don't know, some procedure. Barium enema, not fun. 8 something disgusting, 7. Work the camper pump station, 4. Empty a bedpan, 4. Mouth to mouth with a stranger, 2. Insert a chest tube, 2. Colon irrigation, 1. Clean a trauma room, 1. Clean a deer or other game, 1. Clean Dave game is not here yet. Clean a big fish, 1. And an upper GI, none. That's the poll, such as it is. We've got 48,273,016 votes and counting. We're just going to start lying, okay? In fact, I lied about the rating number. We actually were number 1 with a 45 share.
That's right.
I wonder if they're going to go on here and brag about their numbers, huh? They're always talking about, oh, well, we got so many more. And Sid the Kid, here's a guy with a big mouth who failed so badly, his last book was a 1.4 share in the morning. Joe Rose whipped his ass, he had like almost triple the number.
Well,
triple the cripple.
That qualifies him to come here.
Like you said, if it fails and it sucks, they're going to love it. It's going to continue to suck, and it's going to fail big time.
O'Neill,
we're number 4.
Damn it!
Eddie.
Well, I do have one email from somebody in the building. It's from Steve Sloan. Way to go, Neil. Congrats.
I got...
Good guy, Steve Sloan. You got what?
I got a text or an email. Text. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. He cares enough to send his very best. Duff and Steve and Flea. I don't have anything from upper-level management. And, of course, Clarence, he's busy getting married. Jimmy Syphilitic says, we're having a ratings party. Number 1 rated AM morning show in the market. We have the number 2 rated spoken word morning show, AM or FM. Spoken word. I mean, is that pathetic or what? How about pygmies under the size of 2 feet tall?
Vegan pygmies.
The Dow's up 77.77. How do you like that?
WBC.
I'm over my whatever kind of flu, non-Schweinhund flu. I can speak. The numbers are coming back. Now, I would say there's a message in this book, and that is that we're on the way back on this show. Don't mess with it, okay? Don't screw with it. No, seriously. Well, you're laughing, but what have I always said? If it isn't broken, fix it.
That's why it's funny.
That's the motto in this business, not just on this station. Right. Every station I've ever worked at, if it isn't broken, fix it. Diddle with it.
That's
Screw
why
it
that's
around.
Funny. That's why that's hysterical what you just said.
If it isn't broken, fix it. Mess with it. Under almost impossible, implausible circumstances, we're doing pretty damn well. Don't ask me how. And if we ever get that signal cleared up, God only knows if somebody can hear us. God only knows, as the Beach Boys would say, what kind of number we might put in there. And if they would only let us, play certain sounds and say duty bag again or something like that, then who knows what we might do in those younger demos. But, oh, no, Joyce says this and Joyce says that, and Joyce calls the shots, and Joe hates us like poison and wants us to fail. So I say to him. That's my message to him. In honor of our book. In spite of you, we did it. Not because of you, not with your assistance, but with your interference and attempt to destroy. And you know what Bubba the Love Plug says? This is the best show in the market.
Best spoken word show?
Spoken word, yeah. Spoken word show. Oh, that is, whoever that fake Jimmy Syphilis is, just a panic. A real scream. That was a great line. How come we haven't heard from any of the fakers over there since the book came out? Across the street. How come Hawk Mark hasn't made a comeback?
I'm sure he's typing it now.
How come the fake Sid Rosenberg hasn't chimed in with his 1.4 share? Talk about loser. Loser in every aspect of the word. If you can't be good, at least be consistent, and he lives up to that. Mike Johnson has a gross story in line with our poll. The grossest thing he ever had to do. As I reviewed the choices on the poll, he says, I'm torn as two items are in combo of what I had to do. During my past time working in the retail industry, one of the duties after closing was to be cleaning the public restroom. As I entered the men's restroom, a powerful stench filled the room. Ooh. Must be a whole bunch of smelly old Chinaman in here. Worse than that. As I slowly moved toward the stall, I realized the most foul sight I can imagine. A customer had evidently had a bad case of diarrhea, had soiled his underpants, and decided that not only was he going to deface the toilet bowl and seat with his residue, he proceeded to take his said underpants and wipe them on the tile wall in our restaurant. What a classy guy. I had to quickly leave and return with a high-powered water hose and nozzle to get said residue off the wall and clean it up. Clean it up, Joe. Clean it up. With that, I'm now haunted again and remind myself as to why I exited the retail industry very shortly after that. Sorry, Mike. Sorry you had it. That probably stained him for life, so to speak. When you think there are certain experiences that soil your existence for the rest of your life. That would be one. What kind of a maniac would take soiled underwear and smear it on the tile wall? What kind of a sick, twisted, I'm your friend. Oh, like that. Yeah. There are a lot of crazy people out there, and like you always say, crazy people are scary.
Yes, they are.
Isn't that what you always say?
Always.
You still here, by the way?
Oh, no, amazing.
Oh. Now, if we do have a 6'7" or 6'8", you do realize...
Yeah.
In fact, you know something? Rush is on noon to 3, right?
Yes.
So the 2 to 3 hour over there certainly is going to be just demolish our 2 to 3 hour. If you take their 2 to 3 hour, we might actually get that third money.
We need a 6'6".
Well, they had a 6'5", but that's 10 to 3.
Right, assuming they're
that includes the 2 to 3 hour of Rush, which I'm sure is a big hour.
Right.
So they might have like about a 6'1", 6'2".
Right.
We got a shot at that minor. I mean, it's not enough to even talk about. Not enough to fill a teacup, but nevertheless.
In my life, it is.
I would just like to get it just out of spite. All this rancor and hostility. And you know, this business about me going on here and ripping them an ass, that's because they do these things. I'm not the one who said fire George. I'm not the one who keeps trying to interfere with the show. I'm not the one who continues taking away every... I mean, this new deal of mine here, and granted, yeah, I'm still making what most people would kiss my ass for. But to take away all the other perks, to everything, I mean, you name it, whatever, even like free toilet paper, they took that away. And you know what? They can wipe their ass with it, their collective ass. Harry in Sunny Isles Beach. Remember old Harry in SIB?
Yep.
Says, good morning, Neil. I was listening to the Big O show yesterday at 2:30. Oh, you're the one. After you went off the air, and he said he had Ira Windbag on. Ira apologized to Big O because the day before he'd been on 2 or 3 other WQM jock shows and not on his. At the end of Ira's appearance, he said he would be on the Neil Rogers show today. Ha, ha, ha. Congratulations. What time is he coming on? He's coming on the 12th of Never, Harry. He's coming on when hell freezes over, when matzo balls turn into pierogies. Good luck on the ratings today. Hope you and George are in the big bonus numbers. Well, we might be in the small bonus numbers. And quite frankly, it's a hell of a comeback on our hands and knees, crawling back into the ballgame, crawling back in. After the butchery of the last 2.5 years. The slicing and dicing. Even Ron Popeil can't believe it. That's what he told me. Dave Johnson's going to be calling in a few minutes at 11 o'clock. I can't believe I got that phone monitor on for the first time in months. I told you, the phone aspect of this show, basically, except when you're on, you take as many as you want. But other than that, it's over for me. Finished. Finito. Finito Benito.
Maybe they can help.
I don't wanna. I'm your friend. Hi, Ron. I mean, this is one of the most incredibly untold scandals in the history of the broadcast business, is that this company, with all their resources and with Joe's private detective and all the other crap they talk a big game about, wouldn't lift a finger, not even the middle finger, to do anything about that. And I think they were enjoying it. I tell you right now, from this chair where my ass is sitting, I am positive that they would see that what they want to do. They don't really want to get rid of you, but they want to try to get rid of you as a way of getting rid of me.
Yeah.
They're trying to piss me off enough that I'll take a walk. Well, I walk around a lot at Woodbine. I'll tell you that. That's the only walking I do. I walk all around downtown. I walk at Woodbine to the tea room and back to my machine. That's it. Because that's where they're going to save significant money. They can put some lunkhead. They can put Sid the Kid on here at midday and pay him, $100,000 a year. They could put Mo on here at midday. He'll do it for like $50,000. He'll do it for sandwiches. He'll do it for some stale pizza.
All for me.
CJ in Deerfield, who evidently is far, far behind the times, emails and says, Neil and George, please tell me you saw South Park last night. Rerun.
Yes.
It is by far the best episode I've seen in a long time. Dealing with the Jonas Brothers, Mickey kicking the crap out of Zach, and the craziness the boys get into. Been there, done that, seen it. And it wasn't as good as it was touted to be. It was good, but it wasn't about the Jonas Brothers. It was about BJ's. Oh, I hope to tell George and Neil. George did. If Neil didn't see the episode, then you should get a copy to him. We both saw it, got a copy, seen it, been there, done that. It was good. Great? No, I wouldn't say it was great. It was better than Deadbolt, but then again, Dow's up 97. It's a little spastic today. And I noticed that they're not... Chrysler bankruptcy looms. Fiat would provide more fuel-efficient cars. They're merging with Fiat. Now, does Fiat make, I should know this, those little cars that they drive in Italy beside the Vespas?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Here's one about septic tanks.
What about them?
Oh. Well, I don't know. Here's a long-time listener who never got a book. I don't want to read a whole bunch of gross things, I mean, the poll is about that, but the one from Mike Johnson, I don't think you can top that. Ricky says, how did the show do in the ratings? I listened to 790 for a whole day in the car with a friend. Tito called every show to say the same thing to every host, even exchanged I love you with the host opposite you. Jorge Sedano, he loves him. Anyways, keep up the good work. Let the guys across the street take the same 4 callers a day, says Ricky. Thanks, Ricky. We did great. We did really good. You know something? The fake Tom Jicker wants to know, how did Mandich do against the bastard, men 25-54? I already read all those numbers, and 18-34, we're not going to do the whole day with that. I don't know. If you really were the real Tom Jicker, you wouldn't have to be emailing me asking that now, would you? No. Mark in Miami says, congratulations on the new numbers. I laughed along with George when you said told the management not to do anything to the show. Yada yada, with the best ratings we had in a long time. Clearly a sign for management that something must be done immediately to screw something up. Hope you get some bonus money before they do something to knock your ratings back down. Thanks, Mark in Miami. I'm reading it off the thing, So Dave Johnson's going to be calling very soon.
Oh, Neil.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Okay, it's 11:01 at 560 WQAM, and down the stretch they come. I can't believe it. It's Dave Johnson. He's still alive.
I'm here.
Me too.
Isn't that a good feeling?
They keep trying to kick us in the ass, and we keep showing up.
We're still here, Neil. That's the main thing. And it's
we may be old, but at least we have staying power.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
Let's not go to Mexico soon, okay?
No, not anytime soon.
Okay.
I wasn't going to go before the flu thing, so forget about that.
I went to school down there for a year.
You did?
I did. I lived
and you
in
survived
Mexico
it?
City. Had a wonderful time, learned how to speak Spanish. I lived with a wonderful family down there. But this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it was a great time in my life.
Well, we've all had great times in our life. Oh, look at this. Joe Bell, congratulations on the winter book. Looking forward to signing that bonus check. Sid's last day on Waxy was Monday, March 6th. This is all rating stuff. We finally had a little kiss here. You know how this business has gone the last couple of years.
The only thing I do with radio now is I do this little interview talk show with Bill Finley on
I read about that.
On Sirius and XM satellite radio, and we can't get any ratings because apparently they don't give them out for satellite radio. So I don't know how it works, Neil. Maybe you could find out.
As long as you're getting paid, why do you care about getting ratings?
Well, I would like to know how many people are listening. I mean, how many people are listening to us right now? You probably know that.
Oh, yeah.
About 30, man.
Yeah, about 30. I don't worry about it anymore. After all these years, as long as the checks keep showing up, that's all I care about. Isn't that what it's about?
That's what it's about. But you got to have fun while you're doing it, right?
I read that you were doing that little radio thing on Sirius, and I thought, gee, here's a guy that keeps saying he's retired, but you just can't walk away from it, can you?
It's really fun, though. What it is on Saturday mornings is I talk to my friends around the country, and people like Larry Jones and Wayne Lucas and Finley and I have been friends for years, so it's more fun than work.
Well, good. I wish I could say the same.
But it's only 1 day a week. If you only worked 1 day a week, it'd be fine for you too, right?
Oh, let's start that next week. Sounds good to me. Anyway, we got the Derby coming up on Saturday. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. That's why Dave was kind enough to cancel 15 appointments and be on with us today, which I appreciate.
I wouldn't miss talking to you at Derby with you.
Well, at any rate, I wish I knew something about all the other horses besides I Want Revenge, but I don't. I mean,
they scratch. The two horses I like scratch. So you tell me about your horse, because my two horses are in the barn.
Really?
Yeah, I really loved Old Fashioned after he won the Remsen last year, and Larry Jones, and he looked like he was just a perfect horse for the Derby, and then he got a slab fracture, which is a something that throws you on the sidelines for a long time in the Arkansas Derby. So he's not around.
And who's the other one?
The other one was a long shot. Win Willie just scratched yesterday morning, and he was going to be like 50-1. I thought he had a real chance to roar it through the stretch, but those were two of my top picks. So I'm searching for a top pick right now.
Yeah, I should have gone with some long shot, because every year we do this, and and when you think you got a horse that's really a superior and going to really do something. The race is so bizarre, especially with 20 horses. It just doesn't usually work out. Anyway, I saw the Wood Memorial with I Want Revenge, and that was truly a remarkable win. I mean, that race was just spectacular. He came out of the gate on his hands and knees practically and spotted the field a few lengths, and then just Joe Talamo made a great ride in that race and weaved his way through the field and just pulled away, won by open lengths.
But Neil, sometimes, when horses hesitate at the start and they get left, sometimes they do it more than just once. So that's another thing that you've got to look for on Saturday. And if you're betting the horse, I hope he doesn't hesitate Saturday.
What are you trying to say? You don't like him?
No, I mean, if they do it once, they can do it again.
Yeah.
There's something wrong there. I mean,
if they weave their way through the field and win by open lengths, they could do that again too, right?
He could. He absolutely could. If there's probably that horse, and Dunkirk is the horse that he showed me a lot. Did you see his races down in Florida?
No.
Oh, he was really very, very good. This is a super horse.
Really?
He might win the Breeders' Cup at the end of the year. Whether he's got enough seasoning to win the Derby Saturday is another question. But he's good.
Is that your pick?
I guess. Well, you know what? Nobody remembers you if you pick one of the favorites. How about something like Regal Ransom? He'll be 30-40-1. I mean, if I was
he's 30-1 in the morning line.
Okay, so I really like Dunkirk, and I like I Want Revenge, but just for our purposes, if I'm going to take a long shot, I'll take Regal Ransom. Maybe he'll jump out and never look back.
Okay, I see his trainer is Saeed bin Surur.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, that's an interesting, good pick. Anyway, I'm going with I Want Revenge, and I hate to keep going with the favorite, but. And let me just ask you this, because we haven't talked in a long time. What did you think about Big Brown and what happened there in the Belmont? What do you think was the cause for that?
I think the reason he lost the Belmont is because it's tough for a horse to win the Triple Crown after winning the Derby and the Preakness. In fact,
yeah, but he didn't just lose the race. I mean, he just fell out of contention and then got pulled up.
But Neil, the Derby and Preakness, 2 weeks apart, shipping from one track to another, different distances, different surfaces, it takes something out of a horse. That's why there's only been 11 horses in the history of the world that have won the Triple Crown. I didn't like him and I didn't pick the winner, but I didn't like him to win the Triple Crown. It's just too tough. And then he had a foot problem that week. Who knows what? And then they stopped on the steroids. I don't understand that part of the game, but I do understand that it takes a hell of a lot to win the Triple Crown. And I hope we get to see a horse in our lifetime.
In our lifetime, yeah. We keep talking about this every year. This is going to be the year with a Smarty Jones and this one and that one and Big Brown, and it just doesn't happen.
Charismatic. Look at that. He was just a few yards from the finish line when he broke down, and Chris Antley ended up saving his life.
Yeah, that was sad. That was pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, and then who was the other? Victory Gallop beat the other horse on the wire real quiet. I mean, it's just very tough to win the Triple Crown. And I wasn't surprised when Big Brown didn't win. I was surprised when Kent de Sormo pulled him up. But, you know, if a horse is going bad, I don't want a jockey to beat him up.
Yeah, to abuse him, yeah.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah, well, when they came in the last turn, he was just backing through the field. I mean, I was shocked. I just couldn't believe that. He didn't run a lick in that race. He just backed up, and that was it.
But
I'm going to go with the Pioneer of the Nile with Garrett Gomez for second.
You know, Bob Baffert, he knows he's won the Derby 3 times. He knows how to win the Kentucky Derby, and how you win it is you bring your horse up. You don't run the best race before May the 3rd. You run it on the first Saturday in May. That's how come Baffert can win. Is that the best is yet to come with this horse, Pioneer of the Nile.
And who are you going to pick to team up with Regal Ransom?
Oh, okay. I'll take Pioneer of the Nile, and I Want Revenge, and Dunkirk. I'm going to take those 4 horses in a try box. Is that all right with you?
That's okay with me.
Hey, you know one thing though. This kid that's riding your horse, Talamo, I saw him down in New Orleans a couple years ago.
Yeah. When
he was 16 or 17. Boy, this kid, the horses run for him. They really do. He's a very good jockey.
Yeah, that was a spectacular ride in the wood. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, he didn't lose his cool at all, did he?
No.
Yeah. So, why don't we combine our horses? We'll get a good ticket. Maybe we'll get the Superfecta.
The dime Superfecta, of course. You know how these are tough economic times we're in.
I love that. Well, you can't bet the dime on the Superfecta in the Derby. Now, that's wrong. They should let us bet a dime in the Derby. I'm
not going to ask you about Mike Battaglia again because you always say he's a very nice man.
He's a very nice man. but I think the morning line is just crap.
Really?
Oh, if people who make a morning line know that you can't have a morning line like this. You've got a 3-1 favorite and two 4-1 shots. Oh, come on, 20-horse field, please. Make a favorite, but make the favorite about 4-1, and the next horse is 5, 5.5, 6.
Yeah,
you got 20
I Want Revenge ain't going to be no 3-1. He's going to be maybe like 6-5.
No, he won't be that low.
He won't?
I don't think he'll be that low. But he'll be lower than. He won't be 6-5. I'll make you a bet on that.
What do you think he's going to be? About 2-1?
I'll say 2.5. Yeah, he won't be.
I'll have to go to Woodbine and punch my guts out on that.
You're going to Mexico tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm heading for Mexico tomorrow. I'm heading for Cozumel for spring break. Don't start sneezing now.
I'm not going to the track tomorrow.
You know the funniest part of the whole thing is, and not really funny, but I've just gotten over in the last couple of days a really bad bout of regular flu, not swine flu, but just regular flu, and coughing and hacking and can't talk and stuff like that. And so, I guess if I wanted to go into a big song and dance, I could pretend I had it and take a couple of months off.
What'd they give you? What did you take? Did you take that Tamiflu and Resinol or whatever the hell it is?
I took my time. I didn't take anything. I just took over-the-counter crap,
Yeah.
These things run their course. When
Were
you get to
sick? Were you really sick, though?
Well, I mean, I couldn't talk. When you're doing this for a living, as you know, it's a little tough to talk.
Hello.
Now, all the years that you called races, did you ever have a day where you had, like, laryngitis and you could just barely squeak it out?
Yeah, a couple of those.
Did you?
Yeah, but, I didn't. I was never, crazy about going to. I never did go to a doctor for my throat or any take
I don't either.
shots or any of that. I just I soldiered through it, and I didn't take many days off for being sick either, because I a lot of times I didn't have a backup. But no, I didn't take a lot of days off.
Well, you're a real trooper.
They kept that bourbon and that tequila.
The tequila that you learned to love in Mexico, right?
That's how you take care of the vocal cords.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, Dave, it's good hearing from you, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks.
Talk to you right before the Preakness. Good luck in the Derby, Neil.
Same to you, Dave.
Bye.
Take care. Okay, Dave Johnson. We've been talking to him every year for what, about 100 years?
At least.
And always enjoy it. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQM.
Neil God.
All my friends go for teabaggers.
Teabagging, they got teabagging.
Whoa! The
you not talk with your mouth full? You're making me sick. I'm gonna throw up.
Well, I got the teabagging.
What is that in your mouth?
Teabagger is a ball roller.
Certain things you never expect to come out of a person's mouth.
The teabagger slides them to her molars.
Why can't you ever just keep your big mouth shut?
Can't keep my mouth shut because I've got such a big mouth.
Teabagger goes to her knees, yeah.
The next thing I remember is having my knees in my ears.
The teabagger has pubes in her teeth, yeah.
You have something in your teeth.
Oh my God! I don't have a good feeling about this.
Teabagger can't talk, don't ask now. The teabagger can only gasp now.
It's hard to talk when you're teabagging.
How about I sit on your kinky face for a while you think about that?
Take a little dip, shake 'em round a bit, make 'em do a flip, then squeeze. Take a little dip, shake 'em round a bit, make 'em do a flip, then squeeze.
Thanks. Oh my God, that's awesome.
11:18 at 560 WQAM. Just calm down. Let's take a look at that lineup today, such as it is. We got the Big O, 2 to 4. Mad Dog, 4 to 7. Hurricane Hotline, 7 to 8. Wow, those nighttime numbers, shocking, staggering. A 0.3.
That's a record.
Is it?
For me, I've never been on a station that had that kind of a number.
You never been on a station at a 0.3? Don't you remember a couple of trends ago, or a couple of, maybe in the last book?
Yeah.
Because that's the only place you get the hourlies.
Right.
We had 1 hour with a point. Remember that?
Yep.
It was either the last book or the one before that. We had 1 hour at night where we had a point, meaning nobody was listening. Meaning, why don't you turn that damn thing off and save the juice? Wow. Here's one from My Anal Chapstick.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
It? I just wanted to say hello and let you know that I'm still listening despite Joe Bell's wishes. Remember, when you have an itch, scratch it. That's what My Anal Chapstick be saying.
And the chapstick helps.
And then, of course, I got that email from Joe Bell, breathless about that, congratulating me on the book. Didn't say anything about you, though, I don't think. And also about Sid's last day was March 6th. I think he's trying to, trying to make an excuse there for Sid. Oh, well, Steve White was on the last part of that book. Yeah, well, you know what? Sid still did squat. He still did 1 shares. Every trend, every book, 1 shares. 1 shares with a big, fat, obnoxious New York mouth. And if he puts him on from 2 to 4, I mean, he's not going to do more than that here either. He is what he is. And the audience is revolted and disgusted by him. Just like they hate the Rangers. Rangers? How'd the Rangers do, by the way? They still playing? Jim says, greetings. As far as I'm concerned, you guys have the best sounds coming out of your mouth show on AM or FM. The best talking sound. What is spoken word?
Spoken word, yeah.
That's just phenomenal. Congrats on the stellar book, and Little George's shows in your absence continue to entertain. And finally, the fake Jimmy gives me real diarrhea. I'll go along with that. They're having a big ratings party over there at IOD. I don't know why, but they're having a big, a big thing. Cheap channel. And, of course, they're probably kvelling over that Ron and Paul book. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
And 8.2. Congrats to them, by the way. Nice going,
nice work,
gentlemen. I have no idea how, but you did it. And Bubba, see that Tampa, Yahoo, Ron and Ron stuff, it doesn't fly in this market. It never has, and I don't think it ever will. Not that I've ever heard him. Let me say it again. I've never heard him. I don't know the guy. He mentions my name a lot, which, big deal. What am I going to say about him? I don't get spy reports, most of which say that the show blows, but I don't know. I'm not going to make any comment because I have never heard him. The fact that he has Hulk Hogan on every 5 minutes, that's like us having our windbag every 5 minutes. Oh, here from the automated teller machine, I'm going to get $80 billion from some guy I just inherited. Oh, my God. Here's a guy who was a semen specimen collector with a horse breeder in Ocala, Al.
Wow. Should we add that?
No. A lot of people don't know that horse semen also makes an excellent hair conditioner. My wife used it every day. It's loaded with protein.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I used to put a little bit in my tea at night. Oh, God. Whoa. Don't dine with Al, I'll tell you that right now. I'm just worn out. So much stress, so much pressure. So Joe's getting ready to sign those bonus checks right now. Although I think he just said that bonus check. Let me look at the email again. I think it was singular. Let me look at it. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes by, opens up the door, and looks at you and says, you still here? Again.
Right.
Congratulations on the winner book numbers. Looking forward to signing that bonus check. Singular. By the way, Sid's last day on Waxy was Monday, March 6th. Sounds to me like kind of an excuse. Like, oh, well, he really had like about a 10 share, but Steve White pulled the number down, in the last month. He did ones consistently the whole time he was on that station, 1 shares. So Joe had a much better morning book with a 3.4K. Oh, and by the way, I got one. Where is it? Flea sent us one. He says, I just want to say congrats to you and George. Nice job, not only in our key demo of Men 25-54, but also Men 18-34. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Flea.
Thank you.
Barry Jackass says, Howard Davis claims 790 the ticket outperformed WQM in every major day part in Men 18-34. Can you verify? Well, let me just put it this way. We kicked their ass. We had a 5-3, and they had a 1-9 in Men 18-34 midday. So if Howard Davis, this is, Barry Jackass. Howard Davis is full of crap. Like I said, they lie about the ratings over there. They live in a fantasy world. They live in a total fantasy world. Oh, well, they don't really reflect this, and only old people get. Well, if only old people get the diaries and fill them out, then how come we did such a good job in Men 18-34? Believe me, when you get to be my age, 18-34 ain't old. What are you laughing about?
They're just young pups.
It is. Mm-hmm. When you get to be an old fart collecting Social Security, which I am. Well, I never thought I would do that.
Really?
I don't know why I got it coming. I've been paying Social Security taxes for 100 years. Why shouldn't I collect what I got coming?
I hope to. Can't wait to.
Soon. Like tomorrow.
Yeah, it might happen.
Yeah, but then what's going to happen when you get to be old and gray? You're already gray.
Right. I'm already old.
No, you're not. When you get to be my age, and you're going to need that money, man, that Social Security, that's going to keep you alive. That's going to keep that cabin in North Carolina going with heat. Keep the kindling wood coming in.
All right.
Baron Fitz says, congratulations on a solid book. I'm a relatively new and young listener that has turned on a lot of my friends to your show. Thank God for you, Baron. I doubt that had a direct impact on your ratings. I doubt it, too. Who knows? Hopefully the next generation of us Neil God converts can get you back to double digits, and asshat Joe Bell can suck on it. How do you like that? Can suck on the asshat.
Oh.
Is what he's talking about. They don't like you, Joe. And quite frankly, oh, boy. I bet you he was biting his tongue when he wrote that email so hard there was blood spurting all over the place. Oh, boy. You think?
I don't know.
Let me, during the break, look at it again and see it, and make sure that he didn't mention you.
I'll get to it positive.
Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go. Some props. Oh, don't tell me that's the rejoin.
That's the rejoin.
Don't rejoin.
Neil God?
Thank you for letting me speak on your show. I have great respect for the United States of America, but I am convinced it is time for your federal government to recognize the true sovereignty of these people who are just trying to live and work in a free state. They are not rebels. They are patriots who simply want a country of their own. Yes?
Wow.
Oh, no.
That's interactive. Why doesn't it say it on there?
I don't know.
Bunch of idiots. Somali talks about the sovereignty of Texas. Hub and Dred in Texas, okay? Chop it off and give them to the Mexicans. They deserve each other. But you notice, Governor of Texas, right-wing nut job, We want to secede and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, beep, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And then as soon as they start getting a little swine flu, now finally they got the story on there.
Now, and you can watch it here live, right here in the CNN newsroom.
What is he bouncing? Is somebody like scratching his ass or something? Why is that idiot bouncing?
He was bouncing.
Did you see him?
I did.
Bouncing up and down like he had Saint Vitus dance in his pants.
Maybe he's got an itchy ass.
Maybe he's got swine flu. I was just about to say that they must not want to get everybody panicky, especially after they raised to level 5 yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Because they haven't really been banging away on the swine flu thing today. So maybe we don't have any more dead people. You think?
Obviously
and
not.
What's the real number? Is it 7 or is it 152 in Mexico? The World Health Organization says 7 confirmed deaths from swine flu in Mexico, and they've been telling us every day, whoever they are, 152. I mean, there's not much discrepancy between those numbers, 7 and 152, you know.
Average them out, like the ratings.
Well, wouldn't that be sweet if we get a little rating bonus in there? Couple of bucks?
Mm-hmm.
Would be nice. We can use it, Joe. In fact, just make the checks out now. Maybe we can get number 2.
I don't know.
Let me look at those again.
That's a little reachy.
But I sure hope Howard Davis, I don't know Howard Davis, he's the GM over there across the street. I sure hope Barry Jackass is full of crap. Because if they're really lying about the number, I mean, how can you lie about the numbers? They're in black and white.
Mm-hmm. People do that.
Big has got a 6-9, 10-3. And I would assume that 10-2 is probably the great. Well, let's see. What have they got 3-7? What's their number? Big. 5-8. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're not going to beat them.
No.
So let's tip our hat to Big for the greatest number of Wired diaries. We had some, but boy, they really. Oh, and somebody asked me, I got a thing here, an email from Jason in Weston. I've been listening for years. I still don't know what a Wired diary is. Could you explain? Sorry if it's a stupid question. Not stupid at all, Jimmy. Jason, whatever your name is, Jason in Weston. A Wired diary is an Arbitron diary. It's supposed to write down, what station you listen to and what times and what days. A Wired diary is one where somebody just takes the same, like that one for I and Z.
Mm-hmm.
They take the same station and the same day part, like mornings or middays or afternoons, and they just write down that they listen to all 4 hours or 5 hours every day, which nobody listens like that. They just make it up because they're like voting. It's like a popularity contest, so they're voting for their favorite station or favorite show or whatever. And we like those people, especially if they vote for us. Right?
Right. So Joe just came in and shook my hand.
He did not.
I'm a little dizzy and stunned.
Now, wait a minute. You didn't tell me to strap myself in. I always give you a warning.
I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't get a warning.
He shook your hand and said what?
Congratulations. And I said, I'm still here. And he said, so am I.
And that was it?
That was it. There was some smiling going on.
I have chills. I'm not talking about from the flu. I have chills without the fever. That's one good thing. I didn't have the fever at all during my illness, whatever the hell it was.
I think it was a sinus infection. Yeah.
A what? Sinus infection.
If it had been the flu, you would have had at least some fever at some point.
Fever in the morning. Like I said at WSPB in Sarasota, we used to have the guy Peter Johns did the morning show. I didn't say it. Lowell Shoemaker. We used to call him the Turkey Buzzard. I think he died. Lowell Shoemaker. He used to do one of the day parts. Funny guy. We used to call him the old Turkey Buzzard because he looked like one. Anyway, he would say, promoting the Peter Johns show in the morning, Peter in the morning and fever all night. He would say that. Now, if he would say that back in 1973, I guess 36 later, I should be able to say it. 36 years later. What did I just say? Well, I'm sucking on a Hall's Mentholyptus. Thank God I don't have any of that crud anymore. I don't have to be drinking any tea, running in the other room and making cups of hot chamomile tea. Boy, that gets old. But I've had that situation for years, man. When I get a cold or a flu or whatever, it settles in my throat, and I get all that phlegm and mung, the sinus infection, and I do the squeaking and can't talk, and start hacking on the ear. Blah, 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 like that.
You just make that up so you can get time off.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a slacker. Joe Bell came in there and shook your hand with a straight face, or did you just make that up?
Yeah, I made it up.
No, seriously.
I'm serious. Why would I say something like that? I don't make things up.
And you shook his hand?
Yeah.
Did you squeeze it?
Warmly.
Did you give him a little finger on the palm?
No finger on the palm. I licked my hand first, though.
He did what?
I licked my hand first, though.
Woo! And George just got back from Mexico.
That's right. And I didn't wash.
You wouldn't go to Mexico if they paid your way there and gave you $5,000.
How much? $5,000 paid my way? Where? Which part? One of those nice parts where they keep all the locals away?
Yeah, Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, there you go. I'd think about that. Cancun, maybe?
I'll ask Paco if there are any nice parts of Mexico.
Okay.
I'll guarantee you he ain't in no hurry to go there.
I'll bet.
La Tango, I can't say the last name because somebody told me what it means. Yeah. La Tango Schmendrick says WQM's management is always complaining about George's market share during the summer when he substitutes for you.
No, they're not.
Yeah, he submarined us again in the summer. George always kicks ass in the summertime. I don't know what their problem is with you. I guess it must not be business. It must be personal.
Well, I'm not part of the fraternity.
The amount of money you're making, I mean, that's not going to make any dent in what they're trying to save.
I'm not in the fraternity, but they don't complain about the ratings because they can't. They're always good.
It says, now take a look at Kim Bocamper. Oh, I can't. I got a weak stomach. He started in the 2 to 4 as a substitute for Mo Howard David and then took over the slot when Howard resigned. Bocamper's market share was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, a 0-point-something. I don't remember that. I remember a 1-point-something. We've consistently, Mo had a 1, and Gildy had a 1, and Bocamper's got 1, I'm told. I don't want to see it. What did WQM do for this dismal performance? They gave Kim Bocamper the morning show, which is prime time for QM. Yeah, the Kenny and Blow morning show, and boy, did it blow. This morning show bombed out. WQM had to hire away Joe Rose from 790 because the ratings were so bad. What does WQM do again? They give Kimba Bocamper the 7 to 8, the Dolphin Hour. I believe you said the current rating for 7 to 8 p.m. are 0.3. Now, it'll be really great when we get the hourlies, because if we have a 0.3 from 7 to midnight, we've certainly got some hours in there that might have a point, you know? I mean, you know, what is the total? 0.3 times 5 is a 1.5. That's the total numbers for those 5 hours. Oh, 0.3. Maybe if we talked louder at night. Can you hear us now? How's it sounding?
Maybe there's not a spoken word show on during that time. Maybe they should start speaking.
It says, why the double standard? Why does WQM want to fire George when his ratings are better than Kimba Bocamper? Is it because Kimba Bocamper is a jock and white and George is Cuban?
Yes.
He keeps spelling your name with a G, by the way.
That's all right.
He knows you're Cuban. There ain't no George with a G in Cuban, is there?
No.
No. Are all Georges Jorge?
Si.
Shame on you, Joe Bell. You're such an evil person, says yours truly, La Tango. I can't say it. I won't. I could say it, but I won't. I said it the one time when I didn't know what it meant. And you don't know what it means. Or you didn't.
Maybe I did.
What a bonehead.
Uh-huh.
Paul says, congrats on the numbers. Management still sucks, though. Keep on kicking ass. I hope they don't Schmidt can George. Thanks for the entertainment. Thanks, Paul. Now, we're not going to let him Schmidt can George. Like I said, there are no problems on this show other than the fact they won't give us any leeway to do the real show, and they won't give us any support. And now what they're going to say is, well, if he can get a 6-something share with doing the crap show that we're allowing him to do now, then that's good enough. No more complaints. And why did they come up with this crap about how we're so difficult to deal with? Me and Norma and you. Well, what does that mean?
I don't know.
What is it that we're demanding or asking for?
Sounds made up.
You were hoping they would trade you a car, and they said, sure, no problem, and they didn't do it, of course.
I wasn't hoping. It wasn't my idea. I wasn't the one that suggested it.
Who suggested it?
Joe.
He suggested it?
When we were talking about my contract.
And he suggested that they were going to trade you a car?
That they would see what they could do about getting a car.
Oh, they saw what they could do. You saw what they could do, too.
I can see, yeah.
The whole world saw what they can do. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-gay. Gay. It's almost noon already. Been a fabulous day. We had Dave Johnson on here. He sounded good.
Yes, he did.
One thing about Dave Johnson, he looks and sounds the same way he did like 30 years ago. He never changes.
You mean he always looked that old?
Wait till the Freakness, man.
Neil got out WQAL, where the faggot is.
Bomb, 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 bomb their ass. 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 Break it up with that crap. It's time to hit them back so bomb their ass. Bomb, 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 bomb their ass. Blow their ass away to retaliate and wipe that smile off the camera.
bomb their ass, bomb their ass, bomb their ass. They're fed up with their crap, it's time to get them back, so bomb their ass, bomb their ass. Give them what they want, leave a greasy spot, send them up to be with Ku Klux Klan. Bomb their ass, bomb their ass, bomb their ass. They're fed up with their crap, it's time to get them back, so bomb their ass, 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 bomb their ass.
Oh, the U.S. flu count now, the swine flu count, 109 cases. They started out with the little thing on there that said 108, and now they've upped it to 109. So maybe they'll have that on every TV channel. Not that they want you to get nervous or panicky, but they'll start putting that number in the corner somewhere in every TV channel, even on the comedy channel. How many people with swine flu now, you know? Oh, and by the way, you know that little kid from Mexico who died in Texas yesterday?
Yes.
The first fatality from it in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out on one newscast, I think on radio here on 680 News, I think I heard them, I know I heard them say that he had another health problem. So in other words, he didn't just die from the flu. He already was in a weakened condition because he had some other health problem, which they didn't specify what it was. But he was already weak.
I see.
Now, wouldn't you think they would mention that more often and to let people know?
No. It's way more exciting to leave that part out.
The Dow's up 90 points. Oh, and in line with what I just played there, Abdul says, I just got a job as a human bomb. They tell me there will be a lot of blood and guts, but not to worry because I'll be with Allah and lots of virgins. I hope they're not all women. My picture is below, big boy. Allah is great. They told me to say that. Love, Abdul. Thanks, Abdul. There you go. 109 U.S. cases, divine swine flu. You think if Divine got the swine flu? That would do it, I think. Congrats on the good numbers, says our friend Lawrence. Given the straitjacket and gag that's been on your show, you and George deserve a lot of credit. Hear that, you and George?
Aw.
Joe Bell came in and shook your hand. I'm never going to recover from that.
I don't think I'm ever going to wash it.
This is a man with lacking in some kind of human element. I can't exactly put my thumb on it. He has no Rahmanis. Just imagine if you could do the show that you really want to do, it says. Yeah, just imagine. Joe can blow it out his ass clown, although he'll probably say that there was a method in his madness and take some credit for the numbers. Oh, yeah, we couldn't have done it without Jolly Joe and Joyce and Clarence. The Dow's up 93 points. Jimmy Syphilis comes back with an idiotic email. Of course, they're all idiotic. Anybody could get ratings in the midday. Besides Rush, there's no competition. Yeah, besides Rush. I dare you to go on in the morning. You wouldn't break a 2-2. I have the number 2 rated spoken word show in the market right behind my buddies Paul and Ron. Yeah, they got an 8-something and you got a 4. I was happy my close friend Joe Rose had a solid 3.4 share. And I hate to break the news to you, but the one time I did do mornings in this market on Zeta, kicked everybody's ass. AM, FM, PM, BM. Wouldn't break a 2-2 my ass. You ought to be wearing a 2-2, Jimmy. You'd look really good in it.
You fairy.
Jimmy Syphilitic. Dare you to go on in the morning. I told you a long time ago that Greg Reed offered me $2 million a year to do mornings. And I said no. Yeah, he did. Should have taken it. What? What are you gulping about?
In retrospect, that would have been a good idea, maybe.
No, it would not have been a good idea. I'd be out plowing fields or something right now. I'd be planting tomatoes. Barry Jackass says, I listened to Bubba. He has a good show and he speaks highly of you. I don't care if he sucks my ass, okay? I don't care. I'm not impressed. That doesn't mean he's got a good show or he's doing well in the market. His show is at times, if I can borrow a term, compelling radio, says the fake Barry. Does that tell you who this is?
Yeah.
Mr. Radio is there again. Mr. Radio. Sick person. Sick groupie. Sick, infected. Nauseating. He's got bat dung on his tongue. Especially when Hulk Hogan is on. Oh, that's compelling, yeah. I think the show will do well with white, non-Hispanic men 18 to 34. Well, it hasn't so far. Paul and young Ron had Dan Marino on this morning. Your recent rating success proves the email format is working, George. Keep it up and the good work, too. George.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's because you keep knocking the emails. Well, you haven't lately, though. That's good.
Do we want to have the conversation again?
No, I don't want to have any conversation about it.
Knocking the emails. Why do you keep saying that?
This is what I do, and this is what they are, and this is what I'm doing.
I wasn't knocking the emails. I was ripping Chronics.
Well, There's a whole bunch of them that I've blocked and deleted and do the best I can. But as you know, since you get your own emails, and you get a lot of the same ones that I do, as you know, there isn't exactly the greatest assortment of good material out there, so I do the best I can with what I get.
Of course you do.
And I think during these months that we've been doing this, I think it's worked out stellar, Stella, if I say so myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was never going to be a solution to, I'm your friend. They were never going to do anything about that. And you want to know why? Because they're scared of their own shadow.
Oh, I don't think that's why.
Well, plus the fact that those calls helped make this show fail.
Right. You want it. It's something that you want. So they're going to do the opposite.
I have never, ever in my life worked for anybody in this business who has been less supportive than this regime. You can't complain about the support we get from them because there isn't any. Let's fire George. Let's do this. Don't say this and don't play that and don't. They should have a big billboard campaign. WQM, don't do it. Don't say it. Don't play it. Don't and can't and won't. And yet we still have the number. And by the way, now let me see. Joe had a 3-4 in the morning. Mandich had a 2-8. You put them together, you got a 6-2. We had, what, about a 6-6, 6-7 at least?
Right.
In midday. So a higher number than the two drive times put together. I just mentioned that in passing. That's not a knock at Joe or Mad Dog, but I'm just saying. And isn't it a coincidence, don't you think, that the only non-pure sports show across the street that gets any kind of a number, although dwindling and diminishing rapidly, is the Afternoon with LeBastard, and he doesn't do that, the pure sports show, talking the same crap nonstop.
It's a coincidence.
It must be just a coincidence. Somebody wanted to know how Defo did. We overlooked that. Sorry, Mifo. How do you do in the mornings there? Men 2554, the target demo certainly of the sports stations. Is he on the first page? What is it, WFTL? And how do you tell which WFTL? That's the obvious question. Look at that 1-4 for Waxy. Boy, that's you guys over there are sucking wind, man. You are living in a dream world. No wonder they don't have a morning show. They got nobody to put on the air. I'm looking. What am I looking for? WFTL? Well, I'm on the... Oh, there it is. Oh, you are going to be in heaven when you hear this.
Okay.
Now, let me see. They had a 0.3 in the previous book. There are 32 stations listed. Guess what place Defo came in?
31.
No.
32?
Right.
Wow.
And guess what the number is?
0.1.
No.
0.0?
Yes. Let's tip our hat. All those Defo lickers out there. Oh, Defo would be great and with the Mad Dog. And Defo had a 0.0. No number. Doesn't even show up. A cume of 1,000 people. In fact, no, there are 33 stations listed. They were 33rd. WFTL. Steve Lappa and James Crystal Radio. There you go, Norma. That's your good buddies at James Crystal Radio. Got to be kidding me. A 0.0. No wonder he wants to stay there. He figures he's safe there, I guess. Is that an incredible number or what?
That is stellar,
spectacular. Where it says average quarter hour share, average quarter hour listeners, and average quarter hour rating, it's just blank. I'm sure you have it there in your Men 2554, 6 to 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. To look at it, to say it is one thing, that's bad enough, but to look at it, to see it. I mean, we got the Anil deal coming up in a couple minutes, too,
yes,
by
we
the
do.
way. Well, we got
place.
so much going on today, although we got Dave Johnson done, was fine.
Right.
Regal Ransom he picks, the Arab horse. Adam Oshmuck says, tell George to wash his hands furiously before he catches Joe Bellitis. Good point, Adam. Don't say I didn't warn you. It might rub off. Oh, and Paulie, who's obsessed with his list of Jewish name changers, sends me a revised definitive list. Oh, I don't want to go through all of this again. We did it 2 days in a row. Alan Garfield, Alan Gurwitz, John Garfield, Julius Garfinkel. I mean, there's like a list of about 150 names on here. Jerry Lewis, Joseph Levitch, Sherry Lewis, Sherry Hurwitz, Hal Linden, Harold Lipschitz. I told you that was Hal Linden's real name, Hal Lipschitz.
Yeah.
Don't tell Joyce we said that, by the way. Lipschitz. Lip. Well, anyway. If you got something on your lip, you might have the swine flu. Well, so now they're telling us that 109 people have got it in the U.S.
Okay.
I mean, if this is really exponentially growing by leaps and bounds, and of course in New York where you've got like 15 million people, and there's all those high school kids who've got it that they picked up in Mexico, wouldn't you think there'd be a lot more than that? Wouldn't you think there would be thousands by now? If it was as contagious as they say from person to person?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to downplay it, but I'm also trying to say don't go into a cold sweat and have a nervous breakdown. Of course, if you do go into a cold sweat, you probably got it.
Right.
But don't panic. And that little kid had other health issues, the one that died, 23-month-old little boy. But they're not talking about that in the mainstream media, the MSM. Because they want you to, somebody's dead from it already, we're all going to die. Just don't sneeze in my face, that's what I would suggest. Don't sneeze, don't cough in my direction, please.
This is Dick Cheney. I like to relax by having Mary Magdalene massage my balls while listening to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Among folk music's greatest names are Peter, Paul, and Mary. But before Mary, there was Bob. And now, K-Smell Records has discovered the lost tapes of Peter, Paul, and Marley.
How many spliffs do it take to see Jah and make everything I
Here's your chance to own a piece of musical history that didn't change the world, but might have, if someone had ever actually heard it. Peter, Paul, and Marley.
Puff the magic ganja and you'll feel irate. And if you puff enough, then Jah you'll probably see.
Peter, Paul, and Marley. Every song strikes a chord. Every song warms the heart. And every song contains the words Jah and Irie.
Ganja tree, very pretty, and the leaves are also green. And if you smoke as much as me, you'll see Jah and feel Irie.
Get to your music store soon and experience Peter, Paul, and Marley.
1202
before
at 5
it all goes up in smoke.
Don't do that again. 1202 at 560 WQM. We have 73 certificates left. We started with 100.
Yep.
So they're going in dribs and drabs. A couple here, a few there.
Great place, fun. They set the grill on fire right in front of you. It's a spectacular show. You got to go.
And the food is awesome. Pete's Tuscan Hibachi Grill.
It's brand new. Everything's like squeaky clean in there, you know.
71 left. Right next to Pete's Cafe Bellacera. Okay, so I'll keep my eye on it. You going to keep your eye on it?
Yeah.
How about the...
that too. 71.
Oh. What? 71? That's what I just said. Roll back the tape. I just said 71.
71.
71. 77. Oh, Jason, Chester Copperpot says, glad to hear about your and George's great numbers. Tell George to go wash his hands right away. I guarantee that fat-ass Joe Bell has the swine and shook George's hand to infect him and his whole family. Joe Bell, you evil lard-ass son of a bitch, it says. P.S. Can I get the little birthday jingle for Willie Nelson, who is 76 years young today? Oh, God. Been so long since he mentioned Willie Nelson, thank God. I'd forgotten that this is the guy who was obsessed with frickin' Willie Nelson.
You might want to congratulate Jason from Miramar for winning the $50 certificate that we gave away online just now.
Oh, nice going, Jason from Miramar. You won the $50. The certificate. Well, we sure did that. We were going to do it in the noon to 1 hour. We sure did it real fast. Nice going there, Lee. Flea did it.
Yep.
He done it. 67 left. They're going in chunks. You know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
Chunks. Heath says, Heath who just a troublemaker. Although they have a nice candy bar named after him, and also ice cream named after that candy bar. Heath Bar Crunch ice cream. Oh, man.
Do they still have it?
Sure. What do you mean do they still have it? Nestle's.
Haven't seen it in a long time.
I haven't seen it in a while. I'm sure if they don't make it, I'm gonna start. Oh, and the good news is the local police here, the Toronto police, finally decided to tell the Sri Lankans to get off University Avenue, which is one of the main north-south streets in this town. 4 days they had the street blocked off for blocks right in the heart of downtown. Well, what do they want? All you people that keep demonstrating, what do you want from other countries? If you're so pissed off about what's going on in Sri Lanka, go back there and straighten it out. Right?
Right. When in doubt, straighten it out.
When in doubt, straighten it out. 1202 at 560 WQM. We have 73 certificates left. We started with 100.
100.
So they finally got him off the street this morning. Hopefully they're not there. Sri Lanka, my ass. You ever been to Sri Lanka? You have any desire to go there?
No.
Look on the map. You look at India, and then there's a little turd that hangs down.
You remember my policy, right? Don't go to places where people are risking their lives to leave.
Oh. You mean like Cuba?
And Mexico.
Mexico? They're bursting across the border, man.
Right.
Into Texas. I think Texas ought to still be part of Mexico. Wouldn't that be a good idea?
Sure, let's move that fence, that fence, the border fence.
Yeah, let's move it to the northern part of Texas and separate them from the real U.S., eh? Although, you know something, you can include Oklahoma in there, too, for my part.
66.
77. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Heath says, can George finally acknowledge your email format as a success? Can you finally acknowledge it? George? George isn't responding.
I didn't say that there was a problem with the emails. I said chronic cranks are chronic cranks, whether they're calling, faxing, or emailing. That's what I said.
67. It's still 67 on the certificates. The fake Tom Jicka says, I'm sorry for Defoe. He's a good talent. Oh, my God. How could he have a 0.0 share? Sad. Sad, but true.
Oh.
Point. Oh. All you people out there obsessed with Defoe, you're living in the... You know what this reminds me of? It's like the crowd that keep talking about, those days at IOD with you and Rick and Suds and Phil and Randy. That's 100 years ago. You can't live in the past in this business or in life in general. That was up 61 points. Stop living in the past. Defoe is a good talent. Well, when was that? That's before Steve Nickel got a hold of him and turned him into a cornball goofball. Paranoid. In fact, where's that thing with Defoe and Rimmer?
Can't go a segment without mentioning Neil Rogers.
I have no problem with Defoe, but Defoe is somewhat intimidated. And it's like Laws or Peter...
Wait a minute. Intimidated by what, Jeff? What do you have that I'm intimidated by?
Well, I don't know. You kind of turn red when I come in the studio.
Why would I turn red when you come in here? Just because I'm looking at a guy that's trying to worm his way onto this show.
I'm not worming my way on. I don't want your
What are you talking about? You know what? This goes back. Let's clear the air right now, Jeff Rimmer. Yeah, back at the Isle of Dreams former radio station, when you came on the air on Neil Rogers' show and trashed virtually everybody that worked at the station, I got the feeling that you were sending a message to Neil and trying to work your way around going through conventional systems about getting a job on the air, that you were saying that I was sandbagging your chances of getting on the radio.
Absolutely.
And that's what I kept hearing from people that knew you personally, and instead of saying it to me, you're running around saying, this DeForest is the reason I'm not getting a job here.
No, that's not true. That's not true. But anyway, I want to move on.
No, you're just going to move on?
Move on.
You're saying I'm jealous of what you're doing?
No, I'm not saying
What is that, Jeff? You come on our show and say that?
No, what I am saying, though, is this. I just feel sometimes you kind of get a little uncomfortable.
I'm intimidated by you? Who wouldn't be uncomfortable with a guy that's trying to stab you in the back?
Oh. Maybe that was the day he just lost it. I'm not sure he ever had it, but... We got 66 left now. 66 trombones. The Dow's up only 56 points now. It was up 109 at one point. 109. Or is that number 109? Isn't that the number of infected U.S. people with swine flu?
Yes.
109. Jerry says, I might be stating the obvious, but with the exception of Spanish radio, the ratings winners were Paul and Young Ron, yourself, Michael Baisden, 3 to 7 on Hot 105, Lardass, La Bastard, etc. All provide compelling spoken word radio. Compelling. Less sports talk, more anything else. I will miss Scare America, Randy Rhodes anyway. My kids were in the car with me on Monday. Now they can't stop saying, go ahead. Congrats on the numbers. Thanks, Jerry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, my God. I'm worn out. I'm exhausted.
Need a nap?
Yeah, I need to lay down on the floor for about an hour and 51 minutes. Still 66 certificates left for Pete's Tuscan Hibachi Grill on WQM.com. These are 50s for $25. I realize we've fallen on difficult economic times, but let's get serious. Who don't have $25? You got $25?
Yeah.
See, even Georgia. If Georgia's got it, then you should have it.
It's a great place. Great deal.
I I got quite a pile of stuff here, man. And I've even got some dead people from days ago that I never got to, but these are people that nobody ever heard of. I hate those. When it's somebody that I never even heard of, then what's the point? Kill some good time, though. Maybe we ought to have a paid segment, paid by, like a funeral home or something.
Mm-hmm.
A crematory. In fact, I have an article about more and more people are choosing cremation. What did I do with that? Did I Schmidt-can that article? Oh, no. Not that it was all... Oh, yeah. Rise in cremation speaks volumes about our changing society. Cremation is now the new choice of 1 in 3 Americans. And the number is expected to rise 50% in 10 years. I think they cremated Defoe's show. And our nighttime. 0.3. And this was in an otherwise pretty damn good book for the rest of the station. And the nighttime at a 0.3. Imagine if it would have been a down book.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Hi, everybody. It's Britney Spears with an all-new blog update. So, my new song is doing well. In fact, let me turn on the radio here to see if it's on.
All right, that was Britney Spears with her new #1 song, climbing the charts with a bullet. I got to admit, good singing for a gal with her hanging out. Weather and sports coming up next.
Wow, I have another #1 song? Awesome. Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Britney, hey, what's up?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Listen, I have something I want to tell you.
What?
You're hanging out.
You know what? Your reception is bad. It sounds like you said my tushy is fanging out. Call me back when you got better reception, okay?
I'll do that.
All right. Oh, you know what would be fun? I'm going to open up another internet window and look myself up on Google Earth. Let's see. Type in my address. Wow! There I am sitting on my patio. Cool. It looks like my hanging out again. Well, I guess it's time for another round of clothes shopping. TTYL, y'all.
Yeah, shove that thing back in there, bitch. It's 12:16 at 560 WQM. Boy, she sure turned the world around, you know?
Wow.
Once upon a time, she had everybody on her side, and now... Well, there is still some. I hear the concert here was really awesome. Something else, back on March 18, just a little over a month ago. Here's the poll result. What's the grossest thing you ever had to do? George would like to add here, shake Joe Bell's hand. Don't say anything now. Don't get yourself in deep water.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was off mic.
We got 65 certificates left. 430 votes on the poll. Lots of numbers. There he is, mailing in the numbers again. You know something? We finally got some numbers. What a relief. Just when you thought we were finished, when they were ready to stick a fork in us. And all of a sudden we bounced back. Just like the Phoenix, River Phoenix rising from the ashes. What's the grossest thing you ever had to do? Clean up puke, 109. Clean it up. Clean up diarrhea, 78. Have sex with a repulsive person, 33. Change a horrible diaper, 32. Clean a public toilet, 31. Remove a decomposing animal carcass, 26. Dispose of a long dead animal, 21. Clean the grease trap, 15. Wound care, 14. Snake out the drain, 13. Stick that snake deep down in the drain and drain it. Ate something disgusting, 12. Barium enema, 11. Help in childbirth, 9. Empty a bedpan, 8. Work the camper pump station, 7. Mouth-to-mouth a stranger, 3. Colon irrigation, 2. Insert a chest tube, 2. Clean a big fish, 2. Clean a trauma room, 1. Clean a deer or other game, 1. Clean Dave game, don't have any. Boy, can you imagine? Oh, my God. If Dave game had a bag. An upper GI, none. Out of 430 votes. It's not too bad. Are you keeping track of the certificate thing? 65
yes,
still?
Yep. Let me do a refresh.
That was up 60 points.
65 still.
Still 65 on there, huh? Boy, remember the salad days, the glory days when these things used to go like, but that's back when people actually all had money.
Right.
Remember those days?
It was a new thing then, you know.
I think it's more a byproduct of people having money.
Yeah.
Sonny. I'm telling you, nobody's got any money. Everybody's broke. Except the people at Woodbine. Although even there, you know, when I go with my cabbie and he pulls in a lot. See, I'm always hoping that it's basically empty, like when I go real early on the weekends. because then I can get whatever machine I want. I can like try different ones, find the hot machine. But it ain't what it used to be, man. Used to be even in the afternoon, like on a Thursday afternoon, you'd drive in the parking lot, be pretty damn full. Not no more. Maybe I'll go and find out this afternoon. What do you think?
Do it.
Are you thinking about it?
Yep.
Go ahead. Okay, Rich says, I bought my certificate, but I'm guessing the reason they're moving a bit slower than normal for such a great place is the fact that certificates will only be used Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursdays. It makes it a bit of a challenge for people with kids, which thankfully doesn't apply to me, he says, who might normally only eat out on weekends. Yeah, that's a point. There's different factors, you know?
Right.
There's the max factor, and then there's the rich Pactor factor. Oh, Paulie, this is the one with all the Jewish names, who sends me a lot of, oh, God. Heath Barclay was the illegitimate son of Victoria's late husband. Lee Majors portrayed Heath, who gradually gained acceptance from the rest of the Barclay clan. What is he talking about?
Bonanza.
Bonanza? Although Nick initially detested Heath, they eventually became close. In fact, Nick eventually became closer to Heath than Jared. What is that?
The Big Valley. That's what that is.
Yeah,
Isn't
Lee
it?
Majors wasn't in Bonanza, but he was in the Big Valley with Barbara Stanwyck.
He was the outsider.
He was?
Yeah.
Boy, you got a hell of a memory for a bad show, The Big Valley. I think it was about Barbara Stanwyck. I don't want to give you any ideas.
I hated her.
Did you really?
My wife always watches all these old Barbara Stanwyck movies. She always struck me as very ugly.
Very butch.
And everybody always made a big deal. Oh, the beautiful, beautiful. And it's like, oh, she's
beautiful?
Ugly. Yeah.
64 left. Beautiful Barbara Stanwyck? You've got to be
that. You know, the people that your mom always talks to?
What?
They always said.
Oh, they said, yeah, they.
Yeah, I didn't agree with them.
Mom used to get a lot of information from they. You know what they say? You know what Oprah says? Oh, like I said, my mother meant well, but in many ways, not too bright. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As opposed to my mom, who never means well.
No. Don't start on your mama. Don't start on your mama.
Evil bitch.
Because then I'll tell that story that you told me don't tell, and I don't want to do it.
Please don't.
I won't.
Outrageous.
The Dow's up 74 points. Well, your mom is outrageous.
Yeah. Crazy evil
Maybe we
bitch.
could find a hitman. In fact, maybe Mom could invite Joe over for some tea to kind of like smooth things over for you.
Yeah.
Since she seems to be taking over that part of your life, you know, promotion.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get any here, I'll tell you that. That's the thing that makes it astonishing that we got a 6-something share. Wait till those hourlies come out, man. Is there going to be tomorrow?
I don't know.
Probably. And I won't be here. Maybe you'll text me and let me know.
I will.
Text me what the hourlies were.
I will.
Also, let me know what 2 to 4 was. Because I don't think it's really going to be...
Rock solid.
I could be wrong about that. I mean, I got nothing personal against the Big O. I barely even know him, you know? I think I've seen him like 3 times in my life. It's not personal, it's business. And I think we need to find somebody in there, 2 to 4, who can do more than a 1 share. We haven't had a number in there since when? Since Mad Dog was doing 2 to 5, 2 to 4, whatever he was doing.
Right, following you.
He had big numbers in there. He made somewhat of a comeback in his last book. And LeBastard is dropping. His once enormous numbers over there are like dwindling down to a 3-2. That's no big number. And I still say from 4 to 7, you're going to find that the two of them are like just about dead even. LeBastard and Mad Dog. Right. Because you take out the 3 to 4 hour. I mean, what can the 3 to 4 hour be? Something close to close to that. We got a lot of hours that begin with in the market. Defoe's got a point. How would you feel if you were doing a show? You've been out in the market for like many, what's it been on, 100 years? Easy. Yeah. At least. How would you feel if the book came out and you had a 0? You didn't have any diaries. Nobody voted for it. Nobody. Not even one diary.
If the book came out and I had a 0 and I still had a job,
you'd be happy.
I'd feel like the luckiest son of a bitch in the world.
You'd kiss the paycheck.
Yeah,
You'd take it to the bank and kiss it.
Wow, I work for a stupid guy, and I'm sure I'm lucky.
Well, he does work for a stupid guy. Works for Steve Lappa And like Norma Kent always said, everything Steve Lappa touches turns to Schmidt. He's got the Midas touch in reverse. They're all these make-believe stations on here. That's the problem. 33 stations, my ass. In fact, you know something? If I had the time, which I do, but I'm not going to do it. It's boring. We could go down the list of all these stations that are listed on here, and how many have we even heard of? There are stations on here I never even heard of. WWFE, I mean, that's Spanish language. Radio Fe. Right. Remember we saw that? That was in the Paxson building when we were IOD Paxson. WAVS, I think that's Haitian Melodies or something. WACC. I mean, what are these stations? Then there's Radio Smegma. That's going over really big. Radio Suave. All these little marginal stations with their 10 watts. And then, of course, there's the other WFTF. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm assuming that's the one Defoe's on, WFTL. Or he's on 640. I bet you this one is the 851. Sure. So he doesn't show up at all. How are we supposed to tell which one is which one has the Tony?
I don't know.
I guess we're not. That's what happens when the FCC allows insanity like that. More than one station with the same call letters. How's that possible?
Well, it's got nothing to do with doo-doo.
So he might not even show up at all. He might be not even listed. Because I'm sure that WFTL is the 850. He's on the 641. The one with 4 watts. The one with the transmitters connected to like a pop-up toaster.
Yeah.
Poor Mifo, man. Poor Mifo. I think Rimmer put an end to his career. Who do you think's got the bigger inferiority complex? Defoe or Greg Budell? Good poll question.
Greg Budell.
Who is most detested by everyone, Greg Budell or Defoe? Greg Budell. Haven't heard from the fake Greg Budell in a while. In fact, I'm surprised he hasn't chimed in here about these numbers. Of course, Mr. Radio is too busy being the fake Tom Jick and the fake Barry Jackass today.
Sports Queer Radio is what the Q's for in QAM.
You wanted more and you got it. The Mad Dog is back, singing more duets on Mantage Sings, Volume 2.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Old number 88 is back, pairing off with the greats, singing more big hits with even more big stars. The Mad Dog does them all.
Baby, everything is all right.
It's an all-new British invasion with the Mad Dog singing like a man.
I like it.
The truth is finally out that Jim Mandich was truly the fifth Beatle.
You gotta give me little lovin', give me little lovin'. Oh! If you want our love to last. Now your head's to stay. You'll always hear me say it's gonna be alright, alright, it's gonna be alright.
Hear the Mad Dog's tender and touching tribute to the king, Elvis.
Alright! Alright! That's alright! Anyway, do.
The Mad Dog was just a little ambivalent when we asked him if he wanted to do it again.
Nah, I don't think so.
So we had Luca Brasi pay him a little visit and tell him either his brains or his signature would wind up on the contract.
That son of a bitch was cute.
Mandich Sings, Volume 2, available now if you move quickly.
Okay, 33, whatever the hell it is. We got 56 left is the last time I looked.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
As in Q56 on the certificates. Doug Lindsay, the fake Doug, says, great job on a recent book. I think the grossest thing would be watching Jolly Joe Bell cleaning Schmidt in the hallway. Now, I would enjoy watching that. I would take a certain amount of sadistic pleasure in that. Gino says, hey, Neil, since you have the numbers, I was wondering how 940 was doing before they switched to sports and how they are doing now. Well, how do we know how they're doing now? They've only been this crap that they are now, their sports thing, a few weeks.
Yeah.
They were doing crap. They were doing squat. It would be nice to know their ratings have dived. Not that they were that high to begin with. I can't, well, they're not going to be anything. They're basically like a non-factor. It's almost like they don't exist. 50,000 watts right in the middle of the dial. And leave it to Cheap Channel, man, to take the best signal in the state and turn it into a non-factor. They can do it. If anybody knows how, they're the experts. Paul says, I got this texted to me. They want, what is that? Oh, no, I'm not reading that. That's the second one of those I've gotten. Bad taste about the president.
Mm-hmm.
You get one of those?
Yeah.
Not funny. Racially insensitive at best. 457 votes on the poll. Grossest thing you've ever had to do. Clean up puke, 119. Clean up diarrhea, 81. After that, small potatoes. After that, teeny and tiny. Have sex with a gross person. That's third.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a hooker?
No.
Can you even begin to imagine it?
No.
Talk about selling your whole soul.
Mm.
Wow. Bedding down with some sweaty, smelly, greasy. Yeah, I'm smelling you. Candidate for Georgia governorship says he'd kill his own son to secede. I think that the people in the Deep South, about 40% of them are crazier than a bedbug, and I'll be locked up.
You notice that?
A long-shot Georgia candidate for governor who's already admitted having sex with a mule before finding God. Did you get that part?
Sex with a mule before finding God.
Says he's ready to sacrifice his own son in an effort to get his state to secede from the Union. Oh, we're back to the Civil War again. I wonder if that's because we've got a black president. Neil Horsley made national headlines when he posted the names, phone numbers, and addresses of abortion doctors online. His Nuremberg Files website also crossed off the names of doctors as they were killed. Now he's ready to make more news. In an interview published late yesterday, he indicated he'd kill his own son to dissolve the U.S. in an effort to overturn Roe v. Wade. Asked if he was ready to sacrifice his own son in the national insurrection, Horsley recounts a fight with his son where he almost killed him. I was 1 foot from killing my own son or hurting him really, really bad, Horsley said. I wonder if that was before or after he had sex with a mule. If he would have attacked me again, I would have stuck him, or cut him, or sliced him, or done something to stop him. That's the point. Your hypothetical has really literally been worked out with me. And that's what makes me different from the other candidates for governor. They understand I'm not like no politician they've looked at ever. That's right, like no politician. I'm prepared to do a John Brown. I'm not prepared to do an Abe Lincoln and talk out of both sides of my mouth and try to get a majority together. I'm looking for people who are prepared to go with me and take over the foundry, then set up shop and be prepared to fight to the death. I'll do it. Asked again if he was willing to sacrifice his son, he was even more explicit, telling the interview to read the Bible's Matthew 10. Your own family are going to be your greatest enemy because unless you love me more than you love your father, your son, your wife, your daughter, you're not fit to be my disciple, Horsley said. That's why there's a real rift of estrangement in my family, he says. I contend this is really about people's ability to believe in God. When it comes to that place, when you're talking about God's plan to protect himself, then the lives of people become really almost irrelevant in the degree they result in him being glorified. That's the nature of the truth. You know what that sounds like to me? Crazy? Gobbledygook. In an earlier TV interview with Alan Combs, the would-be secessionist said he'd had sex with a mule when he was a child. When you grow up on a farm in Georgia, your first girlfriend is a mule, he said, adding your experiment with anything that moves when you're growing up sexually. You experiment with anything that moves. Did you know that?
No. I've been in a lot of rural areas growing up, as you know, and none of us were ever inclined.
Well, that's what Neil Horsley says.
Well, sorry.
Maybe that's why they call him Horsley. Hey, Horsey. So Dave Johnson picked Regal Ransom, 30-1 in the morning line for the Derby. I'm picking I Want Revenge as the favorite with Joe Talamo. And what do I know about it? Have I seen the other horses running in this race?
No.
What do you know about it?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I know as much as I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I enjoy watching horse racing on TV with no bets. I know that's crazy. I enjoy the sport. I enjoy the spectacle. But I do not want any part of getting involved in. Oh, look at that. We just lost one. We had 56. Now we're back to 57.
Yeah, son.
Oh, boy. Q, 57. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're on 570. Maybe our crystal radio is a little bit off. Did you ever have a crystal radio?
No.
I did as a kid. And you could, tune it to, different frequencies within a very narrow range.
Okay. Was it, all wide open, just the circuit board with just the stuff plugged into it there?
You're asking me like I remember?
You started.
You're forgetting. I'm a doddering old man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Neil God.
And what the hell's happening with this?
His name is Calderon and his Obama. Both trying their best to curb the flow of coke and marijuana. Oh, there were violent murders, some really gruesome, from the big cartels who are making big moolah. Rival gangs killing people, getting shot. Oh, President said this has gotta stop. Trying to control the legal flow of drugs is a job that is tough. I'll tell you folks just what we should do. Just tighten up the border by sending in the troops. The perfect way to let them evil drug lords know what happens down in Mexico should stay in Mexico.
Yeah, stay in Mexico and don't come here and infect the rest of us, please. Pretty please. 12:45 at 560 WQAM. They're not getting too hyperventilatingly hysterical today on the news.
All good.
Aren't you pleased?
Yes.
Because otherwise people are going to be jumping off the tops of tall buildings. The ones who aren't already broken to suicidal from that. An autistic boy stole his dad's car, drove to the airport. By the way, we got 55 certificates left. Drove to the airport and flew across the country because he loves planes.
All right.
13-year-old Kenton Weaver of Boca has a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome, and he is completely obsessed with airplanes. In fact, Kenton is so fascinated with planes that on Tuesday he stole his dad's car, drove to the airport, and used dad's credit card number to buy a ticket from Southwest Airlines. Then Kenton boarded a plane and flew across the country to San Jose, California, all by himself. But listen to this. Since he's only 13, Kenton doesn't have a passport, a driver's license, or any other form of photo ID. Which begs the question, how is a 13-year-old autistic boy with no ID able to slip past airport security in order to board a cross-country flight? And more importantly, what does it say about the state of our airport security in general? What does it say?
Not a lot. Maybe he's very tall.
Huh?
Maybe he's very
That's
tall.
what it says. Ernie Barnes is dead. Celebrity death. Never heard of him. You ever hear of Ernie Barnes?
No.
We need some emails, by the way, for that big 1 to 2 hour. We need a lot of emails. Neil@neilrogers.com. They've come to a screeching halt. I guess we did probably too well in the ratings.
I guess.
Well, we don't do well, which lately under Joe Bell we haven't for like 2.5 years. Oh, geez, you guys are the best, and don't worry, and yada, yada, you know. Not that we're looking for people to kiss our ass. Because Jimmy Syphilis has got the number 2 rated show in the spoken word in the market.
I see.
Jimmy Syphilitic. You know, the one thing about a lot of these ex-jocks, they really consider themselves broadcasters. That's the thing that amuses me. They think that because they played the game and took a lot of showers naked with a bunch of other guys and wore jock straps, therefore that makes them into broadcasters now. Because they grew up during this era of the jockocracy. Which, of course, I guess is part and parcel of why we had that little contretemps over the weekend between Jimmy Syphilitic and...
Rock Solid.
That one?
Yeah.
Because that one never played the game, you know. Never suited up with the fish. Never took, well, I don't know if he took naked showers with other guys or not. I don't know. I have to ask him.
Maybe in school.
You think?
Didn't we all?
Yeah, we all did. We didn't all swim naked in school, but we all took naked showers with the guys in gym class. Oh, boy. Ernie Barnes dies at 70, pro football player, successful painter. Ernie Barnes, you ever hear of him?
No.
Neither did I. Former professional football player, became a successful figurative painter known for depictions of athletes and ordinary people whose muscled, elongated forms express physical and spiritual struggles. Died Monday at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in L.A. He was 70. His death was caused by complications of a rare blood disorder, according to his longtime assistant, Luis Rodriguez. Barnes was a child of the segregated South who transcended racial barriers to play for the Denver Broncos and San Diego Chargers before pursuing his real dream to be an artist. He became the official artist of the 84 Olympic Games in L.A., whose insights from his trials on the gridiron resulted in powerful, sometimes haunting portraits of agility, strength, and of the emotional cost of fierce competition. His style, which critics have described as neo-mannerist. What is that?
Never heard of it.
Sounds like some pseudo-intellectual pile of crap. Neo-mannerist. Became familiar to a primetime TV audience in the mid-1970s when producer Norman Lear hired Barnes to ghost the paintings by the Jimmy Walker character J.J. in the groundbreaking African-American sitcom Good Times. Oh, I love the theme from Good Times, but you hate it. Good Times. Yeah, I'm not going to play it. It's too much work. You hate it.
I do.
Why? I don't understand why. It's a good theme.
It's a sucky song.
God. As the backdrop for the show's closing... And you cut it off before the good part. Water. Okay, that's good. As the backdrop for the show's closing credit, Leary used Barnes' 1971 painting Sugar Shack. Remember that song by Jimmy Gilmer, Sugar Shack, on Dot Records?
Yep.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, whatever. His most famous work, Sugar Shack. Singer Marvin Gaye later adapted the painting as the cover art for his 1976 album, I Want You. Jimmy Gilmer on Dot Records. This was #1, I think, for 85 weeks. I can still talk him up, Ricky Ticky. Ricky Ticky never responded. He never followed up that MySpace thing. Maybe he's finished with me now. You think?
Maybe.
I don't know. And isn't it interesting that he was giving me a song to dance about taking calls, and I didn't take calls for this whole book, and we kicked ass.
Rectum.
Yeah. Oh. Ricky Ticky. Stick to talk-ups on the oldies, okay? Stick to something you know about, because talk radio is my realm. I'm the king of talk radio. And the queen. Sugar Shack shows a Bruegel-like mass of bodies. I have no idea what that means. Brueghel. Writhing and jumping to the rhythms of a black jazz club. There is joy, tension, and despair in the canvas, which Barnes once said was inspired by memory of being barred from attending a dance when he was a child. As in nearly all of his paintings, the subject's eyes are closed, a reflection of the artist's off-stated belief that we are blind to each other's humanity. Singer-songwriter Bill Withers, who was close to Barnes during the last decade of his life, said the artist often spoke of wanting to educate people through his art. How do you like that? Now he's dead. Ernie Barnes. 70. 70's not that old, especially when you're 66. Now, I'm going to ask you this and your opinion.
Okay.
Because this Paul guy with these Jewish names, he sent me again. Oh, here's another dead guy before I get to that. Country singer Vern Gosdin is dead at 74. You know Vern Gosdin?
No.
Who else could give obituaries of dead people that we never heard of and get a 6-7 share or whatever we got?
Larry
Who
King?
else? Only.
Oh, God.
Well, you know, we haven't got a whole lot of other stuff we can say or do, you know. Dead
Right.
people we can talk about. As long as we don't say certain words. Let me see. Fake Doug says, oh, here's the biography for Ernie Barnes. I just got through reading it. Stop already. Stop. Jesus God. Can you believe that? I just got through reading way too much about a guy that nobody ever heard of. Nobody knows who the hell it is. I don't think we have a lot of pseudo-intellectual art people out there. Yeah, vehicle strikes spectators and monument just yards from the royal family. That's Queen's Day in Amsterdam. They had a little problem. I saw it on the news. vehicle. They must have hit that post pretty damn hard. The whole front end of the vehicle was smashed to smithereens. Good thing they didn't kill that Dutch royal family. Just ceremonial, you understand, the Dutch royal family. Unlike certain other countries, I don't want to mention the stodgy Brits. Because it gives me the schmitz. Oh, look at that. We're preparing for the worst with the swine flu.
Am I worried about swine flu? Yes, I am. I am prepared. I am ready. I've already stocked up on my food, and I got my mask, and I got a little cha-ching money.
Oh, boy. Did you see that?
No.
She's got a little cha-ching.
Oh.
She's got a bad mask, I'll tell you that. If you think that's going to work for you, honey, forget it. I'll sell you half the Brooklyn Bridge for $5. That was something. Well, I guess she ain't too psychotic about it, because she's still got a good sense of humor. Cha-ching. She got a little cha-ching. Georgia's got a little cha-ching, very little.
Yeah.
Very little.
That's not what I call it, though.
Rodney says, congrats on the numbers. You and Georgia and a little bit of Flea rock. A little bit of Flea. Remember that song? Mm-hmm. A little bit of soap. A little bit of soap by the Jarmels. Have you got it? That's a good song. A little bit of soap will wash away all the crap on the floor. Remember that?
Yep.
You don't got it?
I'm looking for it.
The Jarmels, Jarmel.
I think it's just called Soap or the Soap Song or something.
No, it is not. It's called A Little Bit of Soap. Don't give me the soap song.
All right.
Don't give me no soap song and dance soap song.
Soap, I don't have it.
Oh. I bet you Chicken Neck remembers that song. Do you remember it?
I remember it.
It's from the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
Well, I'm going to go see
the Jarmels. So when are we changing the format to oldies? You notice the fake Greg Budell gave up on that finally.
Did he?
The number of people trying to worm their way into this place. Where's the email I had about, what's his name? Manny from Kendall trying desperately to get into Q. Where the hell is that? I had it somewhere here from yesterday.
Didn't you read something about that yesterday?
Did I read it yesterday?
Something about that.
Oh. Already been there, done that. Anyway, this is after hearing the earlier story about the wall schmear. I had to tell you this. Oh, I hope this isn't a gross story in the middle of lunch hour. I worked as a bus person barback for a nice little pub eatery in Danelong about 1992. A very similar circumstance arose. It was very late. It was discovered there was diarrhea vomit catastrophe in the men's room. I knew I felt bad doing it, but I was told by a management owner who also happened to be kind of a friend I had to clean it up. I knew he felt bad doing it, whoever done it. Well, the economy wasn't all that bad, and for goodness sake, I was just a barback busboy job while I was in school. It wasn't exactly a career. I said, no, I wouldn't do it. Sorry. I figured if I was making $9 an hour, it would take me a half hour to clean it up. I'd be making $4.50 and doing it no way. I respectfully quit. Good for you, man. Within a week, I had another similar job, and a few weeks later when I dropped into the place where I used to work to stay and hang out, the owner friend said I did the right thing, no doubt about it. Congrats on the numbers. Well, good for you, Rodney. There's a man who stands on principle, as opposed to standing on a floor full of,
Don't you just hate people that use snappy openers for their show segments? Like that 1 to 2 hour.
A little bit of paint will paint my balls with colors to display. A little bit of paint looks better when my balls hang down this way on each of my nuts. I like to paint a happy little yellow face. A little bit of paint will make your balls look better this way.
You take a brush and you swing it on your nuts as you very gently touch and
dab away.
You can festoon and dress up your bagagools to tickle and amuse and place on your lover's face.
A little bit of paint will paint my balls with colors to display. A little bit of paint looks better when my balls hang down this way. Some guys think they're tough, boys are nails, but they should open up their eyes without fail. A little bit of paint will make your balls look better this way. A little bit of paint will make your balls look better this way. A little bit of paint will make your balls look better this
Well, how do you like that? That's the song, A Little Bit of Soap.
Right.
I mean, who else has got a parody on A Little Bit of Soap in the world,
Nobody.
in the universe? You think that Paul and Ancient Rana got that? They'll have it tomorrow, though, I'm sure of that. Well, they sure had a kick-ass book, man. Can you believe it?
I believe it.
Based on what?
No competition?
No. Yeah, but they got Jimmy Syphilitic, spoken word.
Right, like I said.
And they got Bubba the Love Sponge, like you said. Todd says, just missed the picks from you and Dave. Just missed. That was at 11 o'clock. Any chance you give the names again? Yeah. Dave picked number 10, Regal Ransom, ridden by Alan Garcia, real long shot. And I'm picking the favorite. I'm sorry to wuss out and pick the favorite. But I did see him in the Wood Memorial. It was an incredible race. I Want Revenge with Joe Talamo. Young Joe. There you go. No extra charge, Todd. Johnny says, when I was 17, I had a fling with a smoking hot 32-year-old brunette named Joyce. To this day, just hearing the name Joyce gives me instant wood. Just out of curiosity, I was wondering what the QM Joyce looks like. You never talk about her physical attributes. That's because she doesn't have any. So I was hoping you could give us the lowdown on what she looks like. Is she hot? Yeah, she's about as hot as the North Pole used to be before it started melting. What's her best asset? Oh, my God, Johnny, you must be a crazy person. I've never seen her myself. I've heard tell, though. Now, you did. You were in that meeting, right?
Yep.
How would you describe Joyce?
Slight.
Slight?
Yeah. She's a small
Little?
person. Yes.
Perky?
No.
Boy, the Dow is only up 16 points. That's not so great. That blows. Jimmy Dworsky's got an interesting email that he sent yesterday just before the end of the show. Didn't get to it. Damn it. Neil, do you consider Jewish a religion, ethnicity, or both? I was born to two Jewish parents, one who was actually Irish and adopted by Jews. They never succeeded in raising me Jewish. I eventually found atheism. However, my Catholic wife and her family always tell people I'm Jewish, regardless of my atheistic views. Well, I'm Jewish and an atheist, so what's wrong with that? It's an ethnicity, it's a religion, it's a dietary way of life, huh?
These days it's a nationality.
All of these things.
The way I see it, just because my parents are Jewish doesn't mean I am, any more than being born to a Yankee fan parents automatically makes me a Yankee fan. Religion is simply nothing more than a team you root for and is a choice. If Florida wants Jesus license plates, I want one with Santa Claus. How about one with a Tooth Fairy or some other fairy?
Sure.
Like maybe...
Neil God!
Yeah, Neil God license plate. Sounds good to me.
A weather fairy.
The weather fairy. I thought she was retired. Well, Miss Kamal ain't doing nothing now. Maybe he can make license plates. I'm sure he made a whole bunch of them while he was away. Now, is that true? Do they really make license plates in jail?
That's true. Not all of them, but that's a thing that they make in jails in places.
And how do they do
prisons.
that?
Well, they have a workshop in prisons. Most prisons have something going on inside to defer the cost of the prison.
Yeah.
Some industry in there, going on in there, like furniture,
really?
License plates, things like that.
54 certificates left, by the way, last time I looked. It's not that bad the way things have gone in recent weeks. That's not so bad. When we get the 100
right.
50s for $25. When we get the 50 100s, then those go like hotcakes.
Right.
But it's a whole different mentality. And we do the best we can. The Dow's up 13 points. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts going negative. I don't want to be, negatory. But here comes the bunny, and there goes your money.
And in perspective, in terms of, we don't know quite how serious this is going to be. We don't know how
H1N1,
it's going to
swine
spread, and we
flu.
don't know.
Don't call it swine flu. Call it H1N1. Because the pig farmers get upset when you call it swine flu or Schweinhund. Yeah. Here's one that says, when is that stick going up and how far will it reach? I don't know if there is one going up. I don't know. The radio in North Palm Beach. Norma says, well, he isn't into that technical stuff. He doesn't understand. He's not qualified to discuss that. What are you qualified to discuss, Norma? What are you qualified to discuss? How can somebody who's allegedly been in radio and represents talent in radio not know anything technical about this business? Can you answer me that question?
He's a faker?
The radio in North Palm Beach sucks, and so does your signal, says whoever this is. I have two choices, music with heavy rotation, which is unbearable, or the Love Doctors 94.3, which is a close second unbearable. These guys drone on all day with no material, long pauses of silence, and stupid spitting sounds. They even have a guy who calls in every day at noon and makes disgusting, choking, gagging noises. What the F? I've heard better radio at high schools. How does this crap get on FM and you get AM? Well, I just wasn't, born under the right sign. The Dow's only up 8 points. What did I tell you? It's going to start going. That little red arrow is going to come on there, and they go, oh, no. Oh, geez. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
But, it's the Obama bounce, and what goes up when you're bouncing a ball, for example, it goes up and then it comes back down. You ever notice that?
No.
Bouncy, bouncy. Rubber Ball by Bobby V. Like a rubber ball. Remember Phil Henry and I got into it about Bobby V on IOD?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we had an argument about it. Not a real argument, but a discussion about that. And I'm trying to think. I don't remember whether he liked Bobby V or I did. You know what a great song is by Bobby V? The Night Has 1,000 Eyes.
Yes,
It's a great song. You got it?
Rubber ball, baby, that's
bouncy, 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 bouncy. This is a stupid song. You know what is a great song about Rubber Ball? Red Rubber Ball by The Circle.
Mm-hmm. They say that you're run around lover.
This is a good song.
Yep.
I think Phil hated Bobby V, and I liked him. And he wasn't even cute. He was ugly. He is ugly. Oh, Phil was sitting behind the chick from the WHO yesterday. Did you see the Phil Henry lookalike guy that was sitting behind her when she was announcing she's raising to level 5?
No.
Looked just like Phil. I swear to God it was him. And he kept doing Margaret's voice, which I thought was interesting. But that was up 3 point something. Oh, boy. Won't be long now. Circle, Red Rubber Ball on Columbia Records. Great song. I would say 1967, 68, something like that. I stepped on it.
66.
66, close. Close to the board goes back, not a match. That was a good show, Concentration. Remember that? Hugh James, Hugh with Downs.
Yeah, not bad.
And then Art James.
Used to like playing along to it.
And then what's his name was on it?
I used to play the home game.
Alex Trebek. What? You had the home game?
Yeah, you can also play it with cards.
Constipation?
Yeah.
My mother played that all her life, Constipation. Like I said yesterday, what a blessing. Oh, the Dow is making a little comeback. It's up 11.70. It was just on the verge of turning negatory. We don't want to do that. We got enough problems already with the damn swine flu and the worldwide depression. We don't want any red arrows on there. That would be bad. How are we doing with that thing, by the way, the certificates? I don't want to look at it.
54?
54. Here's one that says,
51.
I just heard they fired the toll collector. What?
51.
51. Just heard they fired the toll collector in the middle lane on the Sawgrass, Sunrise Boulevard location. George, here's your big chance.
All
Apply for that job before somebody else gets it. Well, you can never have too many things in the hopper, you know?
Right.
That's what they said about...
finally. Gil's moving up to the big leagues, boy.
What is that?
Gil.
Who's Gil? Gil Siegel? Oh, the Dow's up 1.43. I'm telling you, it's flirting with negative territory. It's flirting with it. Now it's up 5. Now, are you going to not wash your hands for weeks now that Joe Bell came in and shook your hand and gave you
I already did.
high sign?
I already did, kind of.
Well, I sure would like to have, on YouTube, I sure would like to have a video of that.
Well, we can recreate the moment if you want. I'll get somebody to shoot.
What was when he came in, what was your initial reaction? What did you think?
I mean, anytime I see him.
Oh, you thought maybe this was it?
Yeah.
Like, go home, George. Go home. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, if you recall, when Greg Reed tried to fire me, it was on the heels of a great book also. And that was the call you got. Great book. Congratulations on the numbers.
No, but that was a different story. That's because Mo was demanding that he be fired, that you be fired.
Nevertheless, that's how it always happens. We have a great book, and right on the heels of it.
Congratulations, Neil. And by the way, I've decided to terminate George Rodriguez. Those were Greg Ward's exact words.
So I thought he was going to say, hey, congratulations, today's your last day, or tomorrow's your last show. Say goodbye.
Well, he wouldn't do that in the middle of the show, would he?
How do I know?
Joe Bell would can your ass in the middle of the show?
Well, everything else he does makes a lot of sense.
That seems incredibly insensitive and grotesque to me.
I wouldn't believe a word Neil said if his tongue was notarized.
And welcome back to the Mohammed and David show on the Sputnik Satellite Radio. Now, here's the latest scores
77-7, 2-4, whatever it is. You know, I got to tell you, it's good to be back in New York. And it gives me a chance to get away from that mullet head I keep running into every place I go. Every place I go, I run into that mung brain. Why, the last time we got a car here. Sputnik Satellite Radio, and what do you want?
Hiya, Mo.
Oh, it's you. There ain't no escaping you, ain't there? The last time I ran into you was at the airport. Oh, mister.
Yeah.
Are you the one who validates my ticket?
No, I'm Rachel Maddow in drag.
I need you to validate my ticket.
Ooh, round trip to New York. And what are we running away from today?
Don't crack wise with me. Don't crack wise. Just validate my ticket, see? What did you stamp my hand for?
There's dancing on the plane.
Just validate my ticket, will you?
Remember, if you're getting off at Newark, watch your step.
Why?
We don't stop there.
Hey, wait a minute. This here's a round-trip flight. You only gave me one way.
Can't blame a Goyle for trying.
Why, you dirty, get out from behind that counter.
Oh, I can't.
And why not?
I'm not wearing any pants.
What are you going to rate me now?
118 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday to you, April 30th. Tomorrow's El Uno de Mayo. Don't we have a thing about Cinco de Mayo?
Don't we?
I don't think so. No, we got Cisco Slid. We got Cinderella Man. I think one day what we ought to do is go through this thing. Of course, the only problem with that is, how many of these that we can't play. And there are a lot of them we don't know if we can play them or not.
Right.
Although we got 400 dump buttons, that's a good thing. We got 54 certificates left, right?
No.
51?
Let me refresh it right now. 51.
It's refreshing. 51?
Yes, 51.
Oh. Well, it sure be nice if we could get, under 50. You sell at least half of them during the show, and then, of course, afterward, who knows? That would be nice. Anyway, getting back to Vern Gosdin, he's still dead. You ever hear of him?
Nope.
Singer Vern Gosdin, who recorded country music hits like the award-winning Chiseled in Stone during a 30-year career, died. He was 74. Michael Ilobre, funeral director at Mount Olivet Funeral Home in Nashville, said Wednesday that Gosdin was under hospice care and died late Tuesday at an area hospital. Now, tell me exactly what is a hospice. I know it's a place where people go waiting to die,
Well, that's it. What more do you want?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's yes. It's the final destination. When you know that you're on the way out, that's where you go.
You go from a nursing home into a hospice.
Correct.
And then you go to the Mount Olivet Funeral Home.
Then you go to heaven, right, if you're lucky.
Go to heaven?
Or go to hell, Depending on the person.
Go to heaven. What a comedian.
Go to hell.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
The singer's administrative assistant, Don Hall, said Gosdin had a history of strokes and suffered the latest one a few weeks ago. We were quite hopeful there for a while because he was showing signs of coming back, Hall said. Until earlier this month, she said, he was independent in telling me what to do. He refused a box set in December. Or he released a box set in December, was renovating his tour bus for an appearance at the Country Music Association's annual festival in June. Chiseled in Stone was voted the 1989 Song of the Year by the CMA. In the tune, an older man tells a younger man who's going through tough times, you don't know about sadness till you face life alone. You don't know about lonely if it's chiseled in stone. Or till it's chiseled in stone. When it's chiseled in stone, when they stick your ass in the ground. I guess Vern Gosdin's finding out about being lonely now. Although I don't know. I think he probably got a lot of company underground. Wouldn't you think so?
I imagine.
Now, do the worms really get in those boxes or not? Is that just a saying?
Well, it depends on No, it's not. If it's a wooden box.
Yeah.
Like in the olden days.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the maggots will get you.
Oh, no.
The worms.
In other words, you become a maggot magnet.
Yeah.
I know some people like that. Gosdin, who is known as The Voice, had several other hits in the 70s and 80s, including Set 'Em Up Joe, I Can Tell by the Way You Dance, and I'm Still Crazy. I'm Still Crazy. Did Joe Bell sing that to you when he came in? I'm Still Crazy. Like that. A number of contemporary country stars mourned the loss. He was one hell of a country singer, helped me out on my first tour, George Strait said in a statement. Josh Turner called Gosdin a singer of sad songs. The news, you know what I want to play?
What?
Larry Lou Jack and Country Song.
Here's a line from a song. It took a hell of a man to take my hand, but it sure didn't take him long.
I like that, yeah.
She ain't much to see, but she looks good through the bottom of a glass.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one. That's a good one.
I wouldn't take you to a dogfight, even if I thought you could win. Don't cry down my back, baby. You might rust my spurs. If fingerprints showed up on skin, I wonder whose I'd find on you. Here's a good one. If you get the feeling that I don't love you, feel again. Here's one. Obviously, there's some guy singing this song, and he's in some cheap floozy's bedroom at the time. I'm ashamed to be here, but not ashamed enough to leave. That kind of sums up our situation here at WLS, too. Ashamed to be here, but not ashamed enough to leave. We'll just take the money. Thank you. I've been flushed from the bathroom of your heart.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Okay, you really wonder about guys who write lyrics like this. You know, how much drinking they've been doing. It's the bottle against the Bible and the battle for Daddy's soul. Here's one I really like. It's commode hugging time in the valley. If you want to keep the beer real cold, put it next to my ex-wife's heart. My wife ran off with my best friend, and I miss him.
Oh, Neil. You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine.
It's all about Bill Parcells and how I want to lick his big, hairy armpits. I'm Big O, coming at you from the ESPN Sport Hole Center in Epcot. Wow, look at all the interest there is in the world of sports. Hello? Hey, what a game by those Merlins, huh? Yes. I don't normally acknowledge life beyond the world of sports, but I want to address the rumors right here and now that no matter how much O equals 0, I'm not going anywhere, okay? I'm in very tight with the management, and they're convinced that the sports format is a ratings winner all across the dial. When we get that new tower up, you're going to have sports coming out your toaster. It's not how much we lose our ass, but how much we think we're never wrong. So I'm staying right here because I live in the world of sports. Nothing else matters, of course. Ain't no talk of women at all. I fantasize about balls.
1:30 at 560 WQAM. He'll be on it too, by the way, the Big O. And then when those hourlies come out tomorrow or Monday, then it's going to be really interesting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the nighttime, like I said, when you've got a 0.3 from 7 to midnight, the individual hours have got to be just staggering.
You think one of them is a 0?
At least.
It might be a -1.
Minus infinity. The Dow's down 26 points. Told you the red arrow's on there. Not good. And there's a bunch of kids running around with masks on.
Out of fear. Dozens of U.S. school districts have called off classes. And in Mexico, where the outbreak began, the government's suspending so-called non-fundamental services and urging most businesses to close. So what exactly is this flu? As I mentioned, the government calls it by its technical name now, H1N1, and it's a version of the virus that originates in pigs. And normally, that's where it begins and ends. But in rare cases, it can spread to humans, and that happens when the virus genes mutate. That's what we've seen in this case. In fact, the current strain also has genes in common with bird flu and human flu. And as you might guess, this is not a good time to be a pig farmer. Even though you can't
Did she say mutant?
pork, pig farmers face falling prices and an uncertain
I thought she was talking about that one.
Aros Dost of CNN affiliate KXTA visited a Texas pig farm.
I don't want to see that. Do you ever get behind a pig truck on a highway? Or next to it?
Okay. And? It stinks.
The aroma that comes from a pig truck is enough. It's enough to make you swoon.
Very stinky.
It's enough to make you pull off to the side of the road and just get out and puke your guts out. God. It's enough to make you give up bratwurst almost. Not me, though. I love my brats. Cliff and Kendall sent this. He says, have you ever watched the show Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe on the Discovery Channel? Not only never watched it, never heard of it. Did you ever hear of it, Dirty Jobs?
No.
That's what we got.
Yeah.
We got a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. The show takes you on a tour of the dirtiest, most disgusting jobs in existence. The one show I thought was the most disgusting was Death Scene Cleanup Special. These are cleanup crews who specialize in cleaning and disinfecting murder, suicide, or found body scenes. Can you imagine when they find a body that's been like when some of these old people live alone, you know, they die?
Yeah.
And nobody finds them for like weeks?
Like Dr. Laura's mom. And melted into the carpet.
She melted into the carpet?
They had to remove the carpet to remove the carcass.
Really?
Yeah.
She melted into it?
She was fused with it. They could not remove her from it. Her and the carpet were one.
Wow. These guys cleaned brains off the ceiling walls along with blood and rotting corpses that were discovered weeks after their death. Talk about gross, says Cliff and Kendall.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I will not be watching Dirtiest Jobs with Mike Rowe on Discovery Channel or anywhere else. Got another dead guy that nobody ever heard of. The Dow is down about 10 points. Nothing dramatic yet. Pigs are disgusting.
Yeah,
and we make fun of them.
But they're yummy.
Oh, pork is delicious. Pork chops and bratwurst, man. Or like Don and Bob's used to, and Wayne Arnold's got the Rochester White Hots. Speaking of Wayne Arnold, by the way, don't tell that story on the air.
What story?
Oh, I never sent you a copy of that email I got?
No.
Good. It was less than complimentary. In fact, it was devastating, to say the least. Peter Dennis is dead at 75. British actor made a career of one-man poo readings.
Poo readings?
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
Poo readings. Oh, isn't that a cute little brown pig? Oh, gross. They're showing all these different kind of pigs. I don't want to see them. Pigs gross me out. They're nauseating to look at, aren't they?
Not really. They're kind of cute.
You ever watch Oprah?
Yeah.
British actor Peter Dennis saw his first stage play at 29 and knew immediately, if not sooner, he wanted to act. After an introduction to the works of A.A. Milne, he later specialized in them and bristled at the notion that they were just for children. He performed his show Bother, named for a favorite exclamation by the A.A. Milne character in more than 100 venues in the U.S. and Europe, including the Hollywood Bowl and Westminster Palace. He was 75, and now he's dead. Dennis was 36 before he discovered the denizens of the 100 Acre Wood when a girlfriend took him to a London exhibit of the works of Milne illustrator Ernest Shepard. With a convert's zeal, Dennis was soon essentially performing Milne for dinner guests. To mark Pooh's 50th birthday in 1976, Dennis gave an impromptu late-night reading at Cambridge University and was stunned to perform before a packed house. Just like we were stunned to get those numbers this morning. Stunned. I told you we were going to do pretty good, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's because we had a couple of pretty good months going in. His show Bother, named for a favorite exclamation by Pooh, was born. In addition to Winnie the Pooh 1926, Dennis drew from The House at Pooh Corner and The Poetry When We Were Young and Now We Are 6. Just as Milne had, the actor bristled at the notion that the books were aimed at children. Poe and his friends in the forest show the whole of humanity, he told the Tampa Tribune in 1997. When the show debuted in the U.S. in 1986 at Stage Lee Strasberg in West Hollywood, the Times called it whimsically absurd. Charming and whimsically absurd. It was charming.
Yeah. Pooh's boring.
Was he boring?
Yeah.
Actor Charlton Heston became a friend after seeing Bother in 87 at the Coronet Theater in West Hollywood. Heston introduced himself backstage by saying, "I'm Tigger, and this is my wife Piglet."
Art.
There was Moses reflected my mirror, Peter Dennis said in the Times. He wrapped his arms around me, said it was the most wonderful evening he ever spent in the theater. How do you like that? Son of a bitch. He wrapped his arms and legs around him. I wonder if he had his piece on him. From my cold, dead hands. Wasn't it great that he said that, from my cold, dead hands, and now dead and cold? Chuck Heston.
So
really
get
dead
his
and really cold. The Dow's down 8 points. Nothing to get excited about. And it says there on CNN, swine flu, don't panic. I think they probably would get like a real chewing out from people who said that they're like trying to get everybody whipped up into a frenzy and that their overkill is going to cause people to like start doing all kinds of rash, hysterical things.
Like wear masks.
Not good
work.
for the economy either. You know, get everybody to stay home and lock themselves inside. Not good. We already have really bad economic situation.
Closed classroom, it's a different thing.
Okay, we heard this from the acting.
Joe Biden said, bada beep, bada boop, bada boop. You know, Joe, he's got that hoof and mouth disease. Some people have swine flu disease. He's got hoof and mouth. Still got 51 certificates left. Oh, we got some emails on here. And here's one with links. Links. To Mr. Rogers. I don't do links. But nevertheless, I'll print it out. When in doubt, print it out. I don't do links. I don't open attachments. But you people keep sending them every single day. Every day. In fact, this one he sent me twice just to make sure. Just to make sure that I wouldn't open it, and I won't. Kelly McGillis confirms gay rumors. Who's Kelly McGillis?
Actress.
Top Gun star. Oh, Top Gun, that was Tommy Cruise, right?
Right.
I ain't watching that.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Gott.
It's been brought to my attention that your ratings are dying now. Well, I want to show you what a big asset I was to you and how. You thought you could find somebody good enough to fill my baggy pants? It ain't easy. There ain't no chance I'll ever be coming back. Outside of considering a lucrative contract. If you want to know what'll save you from shutting that transmitter down, why, that's easy. Sure.
All you need is more. All you need is more. All you need is a show.
If your old time slot's only got you to thank, slot. Despite that, my ratings have bottomed out in the tank. When radio has a revolving door for the gayest of the whores and squeaky sack.
All you need is more.
Now see here.
All you need is more.
And the naughty.
All you need is a show.
By the way, something.
Yeah?
Jack told me to give you this.
What?
You see? What are you going to do, fire me, huh?
Like old times.
Yeah, 16 till 2 at 560. WQAM. The Dow's up 3 points. Aren't you excited? The green arrow's back on there?
Thrilled.
We don't want no red arrow. Remember Little Arrows? What was it called? Leapy Lee and Little Arrows?
I don't know.
Is that the wrong name of the song? Something Arrows. Leapy Lee. You don't got it?
I'm looking.
Boy, you're slipping, man, in your old age.
Hey, don't say that so hastily. It might not be a real song.
Leapy Lee.
How do you spell Leapy?
Leapy. How else would you spell Leapy?
Leepy.
Lippy? Leapy? Hey, Leapy.
I don't think I have any Leapy.
Well, that would be the only one. Don't worry about it. It's not a good song. Cliff and Kendall sends me this. Kelly McGillis confirms gay rumors. It's the sound of a million middle-aged hearts breaking. Top Gun star Kelly McGillis, otherwise known as the boyhood crush of anyone with a beating heart in 1986, has confirmed long-standing rumors that she is a lesbian. She's a lesbian. Now, is she one of those pasty lesbians like Rachel Maddow and Ellen DeGeneres?
She has a pretty face, but she doesn't have
Does she wear makeup?
Yeah, every time I've seen her.
She's not like manly and stuff like that?
It doesn't surprise me. How's that? But I always thought she was a pretty woman.
Oh.
A handsome
Radar Online reports McGillis said, I'm done with the man thing. I did that. I need to move on in life. That's another part of being true to yourself. That's been a challenge for me personally. She said, she's done with the man thing, Mr. Man. Mr. Man. I think accepting being homosexual, that was an ongoing process from the time I was about 12, she added. I had a lot of things that happened that convinced me that God was punishing me for being gay. That was a hard process. Maybe that's why I wound up working for Joe Bell. God is punishing me for being gay. You think?
Maybe.
McGillis has 2 daughters from a marriage to Fred Tillman. The couple divorced in 2002. The actress has repeatedly denied speculation about her sexuality in the past. That's bad. She's repeatedly denied it. Now all of a sudden, oh, guess what? I'm gay. Dyke. Lesbian. Why deny it? Why not just keep mum, huh?
Right.
Like Tommy Cruise. Hey, Tommy.
You fairy.
Who are you kidding? You know, I watch Matt Damon. I've seen that movie, The Talented Mr. Ripley, about 400 times. Every time it comes on, I'm forced to watch at least part of it. And I don't know. I mean, I know what's his name? Matt Damon's a good actor. But he plays the gay with such ease, man. He just
too easy?
Flames into it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's acting a lot. I could be wrong. What?
Too much of a natural, you think?
He's married and has, I'm sure, a very manly penis, but nevertheless. Al sends me a thing here. Randy Rhoads returns to radio on more than 100 stations.
Al?
But then, and then it says subject, and then it goes on this thing about war crimes by Bush and Cheney with a petition.
I see.
Neil, thank you again for 30 years of entertaining radio. Sincerely, Al. But what does this have to do with Randy returning on more than 100 stations to say... Not in South Florida, though. That's the rumor we have, that IOD is not going to put her on. They don't think she's a good fit with their Nazi lineup, with Jimmy Syphilitic and Rush and Glenn Drek and, what's his name, the Schmidtmeister? So I don't know. And Scare America, of course, they're long gone. Sports? Boy, they're going to do some kind of a number, let me tell you. We're doing some kind of a number in some parts, like nighttime. Cannot wait. I'm just on pins and needles about those hourlies. Joe Rose had a good book. We had a really rock solid book.
Yeah.
First in a long time under the current regime. In spite of this regime, believe me, not thanks to them, in spite of them. Every roadblock, every deterrent to success, every negative vibe. See, that's the thing that really bugs me. Negative vibes. I mean, what kind of management style is that?
I don't know.
I mean, somebody once told me you can't complain about the morale in this place because there isn't any.
Who told you that?
You.
What?
No, somebody said that. I don't know who. Low morale. But now after this book comes out, I bet you they're running around saying, oh, we did great. Right?
Yeah.
They did it. They did it. Not us, not me, and certainly not you.
Oh, I know.
Because you're always torpedoing the numbers.
There's no question.
Torpedo Man. You should have had that on the poll that day when you were looking for your nickname. Torpedo Man.
DJ Torpedo.
Now, who was it that used to say that?
It's not too late to change it. Greg Reed.
Greg Reed?
He said, I torpedoed the ratings when I filled in for you this summer that I had an 8-2 with tapes. Everybody else had really sucky numbers. The only number that we had was this show. But I torpedoed the radio station.
He hated you.
I know.
Now, that would be a good poll question. Who hated George more, Greg Reed or Joe Bell?
I think it's the same.
It's D.O. in Miami town.
Absolutely.
At 560 WQAM. Here's my story, it's sad but true. About a girl called Syphilis Sue. Had a bug and ran it around. Gave it to every guy in town.
You fairy.
Hey, hey, oh, oh, oh. I'm a syphilis